shit. If he would have got him with that son of a bitch, wow. He was really swinging that chair. But then again, that was older guys. They would know stuff like that. Guys today wouldn't.
It's not like there isn't, some older guys back there. I just don't. I mean, the roster is has about 314 wrestlers.
You guys are on live now.
What the shit have we been doing this whole time?
Calling you and shit, right?
Oh,
we've been on the whole time.
We've been talking the whole time. You guys missed it. Welcome to Wrestling with Rip Rogers. My name is Timmy Baltimore.
Damn.
With the greatest wrestling coach of all time.
That's why all these comments say, where are they at? Blah, blah, blah.
That's what that's about. So we want to retroactively welcome.
Probably talking to Tony Khan. He thinks he's listening. Everyone on the phone, call him. What's his number?
So
where are you going, Rip? So we were on, and then you're gone. I don't know what happened. Someone text him. You guys aren't on. So, I sent a text. Young Johnny Mo. Has anybody called? What are the texts saying to you?
Center of the board. No, he ain't, because
all right, we're on now.
So we're on now, guys. We're live, pal.
Fuck.
It's happening.
I mean, there's only 44 comments that said you guys aren't on this fucking live.
Well,
like I'm reading. I can't read that.
Yeah, and I don't know what the F I'm doing. So we want to thank Drew Wilson, Steve Keys, Shane Parks, joining the fray. 70QQ, center of the board in the house. We got Gregory Mola, or Moya, as already highlighted, but don't know if he heard it. Bull Diggin, who apparently looked me up and has confirmed that I was not in WWE. I was in OVW, just OVW. You're only half right, Bull Diggin. Young Mighty Joe in the house. And okay, if you guys want to ask Rip Rogers anything or get your question on the air, comments on the air, hit that super chat up. And
so I was telling stories for 23 goddamn minutes.
Well, not really. You told about half of one story.
Oh, half of one story. Okay.
Story. Let's not go that far. You told stories for 20 fucking minutes.
So, if you guys missed it, we were talking. Should we cover it again? Because it was kind of interesting. Are you saying no, Von Lilas, back there?
What do you wanted to cover again out of that 20 minutes?
Jesus Christ. Everybody's a goddamn critic, Rip,
Bring Babu said, repeat the stories, baby.
Yeah, run the spot again. If you guys have any questions, ask Rip Rogers right now. Rip, you were talking about this individual, Tim Beal, what's his name? Tom Beal, trained by Boogie Woogie Man. He's one of the street people. Rip.
I was talking about Timothy Beal, trained by Handsome Jimmy Valiant. We was talking on the phone, and then because he wanted to write a new book. He's doing one on Pat Tanaka. He's doing one on Bill Eating, and he's a Hollywood producer, etc., director. And when he wrestled Piper, Lanny Poffo, teamed with Rocky Johnson, etc. He was a wrestler for 4 years. So we bonded and stuff. And then I said, go ahead and Google Timothy Beal, and you might learn a little bit this and that. And anymore, you tell somebody a name, you just Google them, and then you know a whole lot more about it.
Yep, that's the power of Google. Yeah, and I don't want to focus more on technical difficulties, but if I can't, I don't know, Vaughn, if I'm able to even post or hit the super chat to post it, because we do have George Lamberth asking a question. Oh, here we go. Center of the board super chat. Vaughn, I'm going to need your help, buddy, because I cannot. Dude, I swear to fucking God. Excuse my language.
You scroll down and click on it, buddy. You just click
there we go. Okay.
All right.
Hey. Okay. Center of the board. Thank you so much. $15. Let's read it out loud together. Let's get it on.
No, you don't do it together, because then it ain't gonna fucking happen. What the hell's the matter with you? Quit fucking ribbing me. Just fucking talk and you read it.
Let's get it on, Rip. Do you think that kayfabe could have continued into the present era? I do. I think that ignorance was bliss when it comes to pro wrestling and organized crime.
Well,
What do you
the
think,
whole
Rip?
thing, the mafia, they're still kayfabing what they do. The real Hollywood, they kayfabe their stuff. Everybody in anything of business, what they don't want the marks to know and anything, they kayfabe it. What do? Oh hell, Vince McMahon says, "Oh, here's Tough Enough. Hey, let's take these guys that nobody knows, and we'll show them how everything is done. We'll expose our whole business. It'll be great." Well, before people thought they knew, but they didn't know. Now they still don't know, but they think they do. So it's just disgusting.
So there's no way, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's out of the bottle. There's no way kayfabe could.
You can't put it back in. There's new young people that don't know, and there's new old people that get senile like me, and then they forget shit. And they say, "Oh, this one must be really real," and stuff like that. But anyway, Center the board. That was a good question, and it can. The thing about it is, they can always think. Even years ago, we talked about Johnny Valentine says, "In my match, I can make them believe my match is real." They're not talking about the other ones, but when he gets in there, when I was a mark, I go to Dick the Bruiser's matches, and the first matches were so bad. But I knew when Bruiser's match would come out, it was real because there was blood. He'd hit him with the chair, and he didn't take a bunch of bumps. And it was more rugged, man to man. It was more intensity there, and the people would be standing up, going crazy. I watched Terry Funk against Jerry Lawler last night in Memphis, and the people just was going crazy the whole time. So much noise, so much emotion. And they're just working, and they're two pro wrestlers doing what they do. And it was just so good. And I compare it to that shit they do today. And it's just, if you're an old guy and you saw how great it once was, then you look at stuff from how many years ago, then you watch today's shit, you just shake your head of how it's been ruined. Can't help it.
That you just brought up, like that screech, that peak of human excitement. You don't really hear it anymore. Not to that extent. There's no.
Well, people believed in it then. If you thought it was total horseshit, you're never going to go. But if you like it and you're a kayfabe wrestling fan, then all of a sudden there's Memphis doing 8,000 people every Monday night in the Mid-South Coliseum.
And can't get heat anymore as a heel. So,
well, you're not allowed to say anything. You got to watch. You got to watch your toes with everything, or whatever you say. You don't want to. You don't want to. Okay. Any question in the world? Let me count to 10 to see how I can answer that without offending anybody. America, the biggest pussies in the world. America.
God bless it.
Bull Diggin says, "How do you guys manage to get the TV spots for ICW? ICW, whatever it was. I call it in the ring. It's pretty simple. Just do it and I fucking tell you."
Do you think he's talking about getting actual television for ICW?
How do you manage to get TV? Well, I drove to towns and they'd look at the tape and whatever, and we'd see what kind of price range it was. Because years ago they were like infomercials, and you had to buy a Beckley, West Virginia TV, a Johnson City TV, a Knoxville TV, a Lexington, a Louisville, an Evansville, a Memphis, 4 in Southern Illinois, and and all the way up to Decatur, Springfield, etc. We was in all these markets, and then we had markets like in San Francisco and Puerto Rico and Mobile, Alabama, and 2 in South Dakota that actually paid us for they paid us for a tape. So on some we were paying for, then we was getting money back. So it was we was still paying, but not as much.
Okay, we have coming up from Screaming Baboon. Rip, did you wrestle Wahoo, and what was it like? the chops. How were they?
Oh,
Thank you for the
Wahoo.
contribution.
Wahoo and Ronnie Garvin were the best choppers, and Nightmare Danny Davis. They were the best choppers in professional wrestling. And there's ways you cannot get hurt in chopping, and there's places to chop. When you see guys that are Wahoo would just chop the shit out of him, and you could chop him as hard as you want all the time. So and a normal guy, you chop somebody 3 times, your hand hurts so bad that you're numb. You got to have a chopping hand. When you chopping people every night, it's be like some MMA guy tight or whatever they do to with that. But like it's like I'd be wrestling with Brody, and I'd stick my finger in his neck to keep him, because he would try and he'd rush into you, and then you couldn't extend. If you can't extend, there's no power. So you had to learn all the tricks. You had to learn all the tricks of the trade. And you don't chop in the nipple. You don't chop. You're below the neck. And most guys don't know how to do it because they don't put their time in. It's just like a working punch. Sometimes guys, I'm on the screen here. I can't see this.
We're being joined by a special guest, Mr. Adam Parsons. Adam,
I told him to come. Okay, he's there. So in 7 minutes,
that's why all the viewers are going up.
Yeah.
What
it was. We wasn't even. What I can't see that far. See, I got my new glasses on, but I can't see.
Well, he's here on the show. Thank you for joining us, Adam, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Know that Lilas is out, so we'll thank him for the house because he drew the crowd for real. But no, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty self-forward, I'm like Rip, not, you're over, but you don't want to admit that you're over. So,
so your dad, you're from the business, your family in the business, and
yeah. So we all are actually. So my dad was a wrestler for a little bit. 20 years has been a promoter pretty much since then. We have the streaming stuff we do on Tubi and all the streaming Plex and all those streaming platforms, which are all free that you go get. Classic Wrestling, Southwest, ICW's on there. Dick the Bruiser. A lot of it's on there. If you go to Plex, Tubi, any of that stuff and type in wrestling, you'll pretty much get what we've got. It's now in so many places it's hard for me to even kind of tell you where it is because it's on a bunch of different channels. But basically, any of those free streaming channels you have on Roku, Fire Stick, any of that, you can get it. Some of it I host on, some of it I don't. Some of it I edit on, but maybe I'm not hosting. My brother Michael does a lot of the editing. Dad kind of puts it all together. Michael edits it, or I'll help him edit it. I host on some. My dad hosts on some. We could have a legend on there as well. But even, something as simple as buying footage from somebody, from an old promoter, and you got to go get those tapes. I mean, my mom will go make the drive and go pick them up. So we're all kind of in the business in some way, shape, or form. It's a pretty much a whole family thing.
Very cool. So we have a thank you for joining us here, Adam, and giving us some background. We have a super chat here, and again, I'm unable to click it. Center of the board, we're going to get that up. $10 contribution. We really thank you for doing so, and I'm going to begin to read it here until we can get it up there. For some reason, my computer's not allowing me, or I don't have access to the comments to post it. But Rip, and this is from Center of the Board. I was mad as hell when ICW left. You guys had the better squad in the region. I was even more pissed when someone in Boston stole the ICW name. Where is the complete tape library for ICW? Thank you very much, Center of the Board.
I think WWE bought it.
No, it's in my house.
Okay.
It's whatever's left is here, unless someone.
Okay, so I have no idea because I don't know how much you got. I don't know if you got it from the first one to the last one. I have no idea.
No, it's some of it, but it came from Pedro's son Ronnie Martinez, and then Ronnie died, and then we actually bought his grandson. Like, we were going down to meet Ronnie. He lived in Florida, wherever they lived down there, somewhere I think we're near where the Savages had their place. But he was going to meet us halfway in Hickory, North Carolina, and Ronnie passed away out of the blue, and calling, he had a landline phone, no cell phone. So we kept, my dad's calling and calling and calling. There's nothing, there's no answer. His son, so Pedro's grandson, Justin, ended up finally reaching back out to my dad and saw the voicemail was left on the answer machine, and ended up selling us the PM Films footage. But some of it's been split up. So there is some of it, the Okerlund family, Gene Okerlund's son bought some of it. Some of it's exactly the same. But he has a few more things that we probably don't have. But the great majority of whatever is left is either with us in our tape room, which is just downstairs, or it's with Gene Okerlund's son, Todd.
Todd
Okay.
So they it's split. It's all over the place. How many years of footage is that in total? Do you like?
Just the ICW is I mean, it's from beginning to end. There's probably, I'll say 50 probably. So you're not going to have every week. I think Okerlund only has like 10 or 12. I know that where this guy's talking about the ICW in Boston, that was the Savoldi family, which is Mario, Angelo Savoldi, and their son Jumpin' Joe, who was a wrestler. And they have some of it. So Martinez was kind of sporadically selling it. And then I think what he knew, which obviously you don't know, but I think he knew Ronnie was at the tail end of his career, his life, and wanted to sell it out. And then he eventually, like I said, his son, so the grandson of Pedro, ended up selling us whatever was left. So I think over time, a little bit was sold to the Savoldi family, and a little bit was sold to the Okerlund family. But the ICW that he's talking about is the IWWCW. They bought out Fritz.
Okay.
So when World Class closed, they bought the World Class name, and instead of World Class Championship Wrestling, it became the International World Class Championship Wrestling.
Wow.
So he didn't buy the tapes because they ended up selling the tapes to Vince when everybody else was in the early 2000s, but they bought the name and were trying to keep that name alive a little bit. And they would use Brody and some other guys. But yeah, they ran in Boston in the late 80s for just a couple years. It seemed like they had those tapes. And they ran for a while, but underneath the IWWCW name, they ran for just a couple years there in the late 80s.
Rip, at what point, what year did you part ways with ICW?
I left like the first week of April of 1983. I went to work a week for Ron Fuller. I did his TV, and then worked the house shows that week. And then I went to Bill Watts's in Mid-South in April of April of 83. I stayed 83. Like 5 months. Then I went to work for Fuller again because he knew who I was more. So I stayed there for 11 months. The last 10 weeks there, I worked all the main events with Austin Idol. Then I went and worked with Ole with Championship Wrestling from Georgia. So then I went to Atlanta for 8 months, and I was at one time the Transition National Tag Team Champions with Ted Oates. We were the second group of Hollywood Blondes.
Who was the first?
Jerry Brown and Buddy Roberts.
Jerry Brown and Buddy Roberts, yeah. And then afterwards, then Pillman and Steve Austin, they were the third group. Yep. But I was there for 8 months, and I remember I worked with Tommy Rich in the main event of the Omni, which was a big deal, and then all of a sudden Crockett come in, took over, and they just fired my ass because they kept who they wanted, and then that was the wrestling business. And I went in working for Wahoo, was doing good there, and then got left off of the big Super Show. And I said, no, I'm out of here. So I just left. Chief said, you can't leave. I said, hell, I'm out of here, motherfucker. So of course, what happened was me and Bugsy McGraw. It was me and Brenda against Bugsy and Lady Maxine, the 6'5" girl that would step over the top rope and hair was in a mohawk and everything, and my old lady did her costumes and everything. And she was one of Moolah girls, and she quit. And in every other match, Dusty was the boss, right? So in every match there would be double blood, same old shit. So we went out there and give him total comedy, and it got over so good that I wasn't on the next Super Show in Miami. So I said, no, I'm out of here. Fuck y'all. Fuck all you motherfuckers.
You screwed up and got over.
Yeah, exactly. Just another day in the life of.
That's what the Outrunners are doing right now, Rip. Turbo and Floyd. They're getting over, so now they're about to get married.
Those be the breaks, right?
It happens.
It happens, yeah. Can't be a threat. We got center of the board, $12 super chat. Want to thank center of the board once again. Rip, what were some of the hottest feuds in the promotion? That promotion, of course, being ICW. What stands out in your mind?
Well, it was built around Randy versus Lanny. And then he had the good matches with Ronnie Garvin. So, and then the matches with Lanny was one style. The matches with Garvin was more of a fight. So they, as long as everybody was there, we was just going out there and doing battle and doing what the hell. But in the promotion business, you learn that whoever has the best TV, the strongest TV, in a solid time slot, shit, we'd be getting them. We'd be on at 2 p.m. The next week we're on 11:30 after the late movie, and on one of the shitty stations. It's like Memphis was our competition. That was Jerry Jarrett's thing. They were on the strongest station in Memphis, and they had the greatest TV ratings of anybody that ever ran wrestling. They had a live 90-minute show on Channel 5 in Memphis. And we was on some nickel and dime station there. I remember ICW, they always said, they produced in March 13, 1979. That was the first day we ever did any tapes. And we did them in Louisville, Kentucky at WDRB Channel 41. Then we did 10 tapes. Then we took them with us. And then we had our first TV, which was at Hazard. Then we got Lexington. Then we got, and it was on and on and on and on. But in Jarrett, he was the incumbent incumbent. So he had the best TVs in the strongest station. And if you get the best TV in the strongest station, no matter how shitty your product is, you're going to be, you're going to make money.
Made in the shade. I mean, that's really important to have that consistency, right? So what you're saying is, ICW may be on this channel, on channel 54 at 12:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and then the following week on a different channel at a different time.
No, you'll be on the same channel.
Same channel. Okay.
But you might be, it's after the late movie. It's at 1 a.m, What time's it get over? I don't know. Well, we got to see how many commercials we sell, this and that. So you don't really know.
Still, yeah, that's a lot to ask of the audience to try to follow the time and when you're appearing. Adam, what do you have any as a historian and obviously a vested interest in the history of ICW? What feuds and programs stand out in your mind?
What he said, Savage and Lanny, Savage and Garvin was good. Garvin and Ox, where Ronnie Garvin stomped Ox Baker's dentures, is a great story to me because I got to know Ox, which was awesome. I loved Ox. I talked to Rip about 3 times a week on the phone. I wish that I would have had the ability to be able to become friends with Ox on that level, but I was just a kid when I was around him. But it was a real treat. But he ended up telling me that, I think he said that Angelo paid him $500 to get those dentures stomped out, and I think he said it cost him like $250 to get a replacement. So he was only making about $250, but it was hot, and they were trying to do the angle and get the whole promotion going. So to me, that angle is one. The mop head match is another good one. That was a great angle. Pez wore the mop head, but I think one of the most interesting angles that you guys did in ICW to me was the what the hell did you guys call it? The ICW Girl of the Year, the Play Girl, or the Macho Girl? It had something to do with Savage.
Miss Macho Man contest.
Miss Macho Man. And they ended up he opened the box, and it was Pez with the wig on in the box. And it was so Attitude Era it was such an Attitude Era, late 90s Monday Night Raw gimmick. It was so over the top for the time, but it was such a great gimmick that I think not a lot of fans talk about it, but once you see it, it's something that really pops out.
Well, see, what happens on that, it's like the dentures thing. Garvin you would repeat angles that wasn't on cable, see? So Garvin did that with Boris Malenko in Knoxville. Then we took it to ICW. And then when they had the big box, they did the same thing with Crusher Blackwell in Knoxville. He come out of the box. So Garvin was just repeating angles from Knoxville.
We have Pot Tripper Jr. with a good point. They should sell the remaining tapes to that channel selling the Trump coins for 24/7. Maybe they should just have a like you said, the Tubi channel air some of this great old footage, man. Like
a lot of it's on there. And it was amazing to me, some of this stuff, like we just went the other day, I had a dentist appointment yesterday and got a tooth pulled out. But on the way to the dentist, I said, hey, Dad, let's go over to the storage building and see if there's any more tapes over there, just to see, because when you have so much stuff, you don't really know what you have. You move stuff around and time goes on. And I said, we ought to just go over there and see if there's anything. So we start looking through boxes, and I found 20 2-inch tapes. And some of it was there was an ICW tape in there, I know for sure. Some of it, there was a Goulas tape in there, Sheik Big Time, and a lot of that stuff we bought from the Okerlund family about 2 years ago, but I didn't get to go. I was coaching college football at the time. My parents drove up to Minnesota, picked it up, brought it back. And some of it were transferring. The 2-inch stuff is really hard to transfer because every tape is like $300 to get it done. And there's no guarantee that there'll be any tapes on it. But, there's still some hidden gems that we have out there. We're working with other people and getting other stuff. And a lot of that stuff that people think is gone it's out there.
Just
we
sitting somewhere in the dusty storage. Yeah.
Yeah. We went away from YouTube just because you can pull anything off of YouTube and you can post it as yourself. And that new content like this is a little bit harder to pull it off and somebody else play it, because you could easily tell YouTube like, hey, that's not their stuff, it's mine because this is my show. But when you get the classic footage, and it kind of was on YouTube for a while, and then some of it was taken down, but a lot of that stuff is out there on any of those channels. Tubi's the biggest one for us right now, which is free to anybody. As long as you have any sort of streaming device, you can get Tubi, smart TV, or you have a Roku or whatever, or you use your phone or use the internet, you can get Tubi. But a lot of that stuff is on there. I tell everybody, from Lou Thez to New Jack, it's all on there. You can find it on one of those channels. But until just recently, with being in college football and whatever, I've been kind of out of the game as far as just maybe hosting something once in a while. But as far as the production side of it and where things are, that stuff it's amazing to me.
Very cool.
Every once in a while he'll say, oh, we got a new channel, and I'll say, what's the channel? And he'll tell me. I'm like, I've never heard of it. But then it's cool to get those reports, because you might get, I know one time we had like 5,000 viewers from Germany. And I'm sorry, we have no footage from, how is anybody watching this from Germany? But it's kind of neat to see that there are people all over the world that appreciate and still appreciate the classic wrestling.
Yeah, it's a great service that you're doing, and it's they're these things, people have never seen them, and it's new, it's brand new. We got another super chat coming in from the very generous, very gracious center of the board again, $5 super chat. He is asking, and this is a good question, Rip.
Why is it a good question? Okay.
Because I'm interested as well. It's a 3-pronged question. Thoughts on Ernie Ladd, Bobo Brazil, or Sputnik Monroe? I'm thinking maybe he means and. So thoughts on Ernie Ladd first?
Oh,
Any
Ernie.
experience with him? Yeah.
No, I used
Big
to ride
cats.
with Ernie. Ernie was my goddamn boss in Mid-South. He lived right next to me. So the whole thing was in the apartment complex. There was King Kong Bundy, there was me, and there was Ernie right there. So I'd make trips with Ernie, and I'd sit in the back seat. So yeah, Rogers, who's the greatest baby face in the history of wrestling? You, Ernie. Rogers, who's the greatest heel in the history of wrestling? You, Ernie. You see, that's why I like that Rogers. He knows what the hell's going on. And big fat Bundy, you big fat turd, you're just sitting there taking up space. Why don't you do something? You are allowed to exercise, you know. So that was the big cat Ernie Ladd, 6'9" in Texas tall.
He was
Former pro
built-
football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, you name it. Then we got Bobo Brazil.
Mhm.
Bobo was Bobo. If you want to match it, yeah, that was phonier than shit. Bobo could do it, but he was about the most over black wrestler for years and years and years. Light as a feather, nice guy, big guy. What's that noise?
It sounds like some crackling.
Yes, I ain't crackling nothing. Anyway,
Anyway,
Sputnik Monroe, he was the original Diamond and Cadillac man, the original Diamond and Cadillac man down south. So he was like, he was always hanging out with all the black guys. He was like the Mr. They all cheered for Sputnik Monroe. Sputnik was great in his time, and he was like the hero of all the of the black fans.
who would you say was the most over black wrestler that you ever experienced or worked around?
Well,
And
years
what
ago
period
was
of time?
Thunderbolt Patterson, but you're looking at, but then Junkyard Dog. When Junkyard Dog come along and worked for Bill Watts, he was the man, because you go into you got to remember Watts is working. He's wrestling, you know, New Orleans, Greenville, Mississippi, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, parts of Arkansas. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
I wonder what that interference is.
It might be me. I'm in, hillbilly country here in West Virginia. It could be the Wi-Fi or any of that.
Thanks for taking the heat there, Adam.
Yeah, I'll
Appreciate
take the
it.
heat. I'm going on here every once in a while, so I'll take the heat.
Yeah, Screaming Baboon saying stop crackling. So that's what he put on here.
So we the center of the board also said JYD. I guess wanting your thoughts on JYD as well.
Well, I just told you my thoughts on JYD. So
There we go. Okay, that was it. Sorry, Adam. Adam will rejoin us, I suppose.
no, he went. I told him to get in and get out, but then the first 20 minutes of the program didn't air. So the stuff we said the first 20 minutes has been repeat, half-assed repeat, not repeated, all of the above, none of the above.
It's going well.
There's a $5 center of the board. What was Paul Bosch like to work for? When I worked in Houston for Paul Bosch, what he did was the Mid-South guys run it, and he was there. He was over. He was the king of Channel 39 in Houston. He was the guy that could really draw. If you went there about every 2 weeks, if you made it 3 weeks, it was sold out every time. And that was the great Paul Bosch, and he was he ran Houston with his son-in-law Peter Burkholz, and that was in the early '80s when I was going there. So center of the board. There's your answer on that.
So early '80s. How many years were you in by the time you got to Texas for Paul Bosch?
Oh, I was 29 years old, so I've been working full time about 7 years. So and I made more money with Watts working underneath than I did in other places, working main events, semi-main events, heavy programs, having to gaff and do whatever. Because he was one of the first guys that had the more expensive ticket price.
Okay.
And then he had all those black athletes, and our audience was almost all black. And
Right.
Watts didn't care. He just wanted that green money. That's all he wanted. So he didn't give a shit about it.
So like the Louisiana towns, it crazy, like you said, for JYD, and he would. So I've heard just like Bill Watts would really was he a master at with the booking of building. I know all bookers should build backwards, but
Yeah.
was he particularly talented at that? Correct.
Well, if he drew money, then he was talented.
Yeah.
And then his was always a big man, tough guy territory. And then all of a sudden, when Bill Dundee took over and he brought all that entertainment, he brought the Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, smaller guys, etc., and gave them more entertainment. That's when the territory exploded, because they were used to the big, slow, tough guys. And now all of a sudden they're laughing and they're crying and they're having a good time. And it really opened Bill Watts' eyes to, hey, there's different ways of doing this shit.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
How was that to see in real time? Like, do you remember a moment where you go, holy shit, this is different and it's working?
No, because I had left and went somewhere else. And then he had Dundee booking, and Dundee bought in. That's where Cornette got his first break, see?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden they'd never seen anything like that. They've been used to Skandar Akbar being the manager for how many years with this and that. And all of a sudden Cornette's coming out and he's going balls to the walls. And it's just, it was unbelievable.
It was like like you said, most of the managers were villains, real heels, like, you know, they were threatening heels. Cornette was kind of the first, you know, entertaining.
Okay.
Right.
Forget that. We got $6 up with center of the board.
Center of the board back in the house.
Yeah, he says, Watts used ICW talent better than any promotion, even WWF. Well, what happened was Garvin got me in there. He got Leap and Lanny in there. He got George Weingroff in there. I think Doug Vines and Jeff Sword, they worked there too. So Garvin knew everybody in the wrestling business. So I recommend, if he recommends you, you would get a job. So that's why. And then Randy was gonna go in there, but then he went to Memphis, and then Vince found him. All of a sudden, he discovered Randy Savage, and such was life. I'm gonna take a minute right here because I plugged Bobby Fulton's. When I plugged him, we weren't on the air, so we talked the first 20 minutes of nothing. So my friend Bobby Fulton, he's going to have the big Chillicothe extravaganza with the Fan Fest and everything. It's going to be next Saturday night, Saturday, March the 8th. It's an all day thing pretty much. They got wrestling there. They got Mick Foley there. They got Honky Tonk Man. They got Enzo. They got Heath Slater. They got Vampiro. They got all the top stars. They got Mr. International Jake Oman. He'll be performing there. They got UFC's Mark Coleman, Buff Bagwell, Shane Douglas. They're all going to be at Bobby Fulton's big ass get together. Fantastic. And Bobby draws like I've never seen anybody draw the way Bobby Fulton draw. So it should be a great time there. Mick Foley's going to have it's a question and answer thing. It's an all day thing. Just go there, love your wrestling, get your autographs, and have a great time.
Great time at the matches. We got another super chat here, and from Drew Wilson. Thank you for the $5. We're going to try to throw your comment up when we get the ability to do so. The question is, Rip, can you comment on Lex and his physical therapy progress with DDP? Are you up to date or up to speed on this, Rip?
I just know DDP's doing some stuff with him, trying to make him better.
He stood up out of his wheelchair recently. There's footage.
Okay, so who knows if they're working? It's a rib or whatever. That he could be doing 1,000 squats a day. I don't know. The last time I saw him, he wasn't that way. You know what I mean? But
Right.
But stuff I see with my own eyes in the wrestling business, I don't believe it, because anything somebody tells you, it's it's this much, and they've stretched it to this much. And everybody that he was 7'2". That son of a bitch was 6'3.5". You know what I mean? He weighed 500 pounds. He was 283.5. You know what I mean? You know, it depends who's telling the story. You know how it is.
I do.
That's like was a thing on Netflix when the young the guy playing Rocky Johnson was just playing Rocky to the T. Now I met Rocky working for Nick Goulas, and the first time I heard Rocky talking, he goes, "Hey, The Rock's hungry. You want to get something to eat?" I said, "The Rock's hungry? What do you mean?" He says, "I'm hungry." Why do you say The Rock? Anyway, so The Rock just copied his dad. Rocky was, at that time, he was the most full of shit guy I ever met in my life, and I loved it. I said, "Man, this guy's awesome." You ask him a yes/no question, he can talk for 20 minutes and not say anything, right? You know what
Keep
he
you
was
engaged.
doing. You know, we was working at OVW together for WWE, and hell, and then Rock didn't last very long, but he knew if there was steroids coming in, who wanted them, or steroids, the every young lady there was, and he was the most total gimmick character I've ever seen in my life.
It's a nice little side hustle.
The soul man, Rocky Johnson. So, but I experienced that in 1977 when I met him working some shows for Mick Goulas, and then when he was a handful. He was exciting.
Was it small doses? Did it wear you out, or were you just excited and happy to be around that kind of craziness? Because
once you've been in the wrestling business, you know what you're looking for. So you make yourself more easily accessible to it.
Yeah, tolerance goes up for
the
madness.
Thing about Lex Luger, I know Diamond Dallas Page is messing with him. And Diamond Dallas Page, he's got a hell of a story because he got in the wrestling business when he was older. And then he was a manager, and he was more gimmick than he made the hell. Dallas was about 6'5", I'm thinking. And then he'd be tag teaming with Tom Boric, or what the hell was his wrestling name, and Pat Tanaka, and they were shorter guys. And Dallas, it was all, he made himself the star, and he just had the wrestlers out there, and they was just like boring wrestlers, and he was doing this and that, and he was the whole show, this and that. So, wow.
We got another super chat from center of the board, who is the star of this week's Wrestling with Rip Rogers, no doubt about it. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Rip, was Nick Goulas as bad as they say he was?
Well, okay, now here's the thing in the wrestling business. If you don't draw any money, you can't keep your doors open. And there's certain few guys that Nick was good to, like Tojo Yamamoto and Jackie Fargo. A lot of guys, they would get guarantees and stuff. And then, so Nick, he didn't care about the underneath guys. You needed, since you had a lot of weekly towns, you needed a face change anyway. And if he didn't, you didn't make much money there. Hell, I broke even. I was lucky to do that, but that's all I wanted to do was break even, because I knew what I was going to make. And it was more money than I was making teaching schools. Hell, I was making $119 a week teaching school when I first started.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, everything's relevant. So I went down there and couldn't get a motel, and slept outside Randy Savage's apartment on the outside his door. There'd be snow, and he was living with another girl there. And then all of a sudden, she's gone and I'm in, and all right. It didn't get any better than that. So
speaking of, making money and making a living here, we got super chat blowing up. There was the second part, center of the board. I don't want to shortchange him here. He said, have you heard the story of Daddy Said Sell?
Everybody in the world's heard about the Daddy Sell, because George's big thing was chopping, because he couldn't throw a working punch. And George was about 6'4", 6'5", very unathletic, and his arms were so skinny they were like buggy whips. So George would hit you with the chop, and he'd always say, "Daddy said sell." And George was a nice guy, but it just didn't mix because Nick was making him a star, and it hurt his houses. That's why Jerry Jarrett pretty much broke off and started his own thing. Because,
Really?
Yeah, because Nick insisted that George be the star.
The nepotism.
Yeah, well, that's the same in anything. If I got a job if I'm the boss and I'm rich and I got a company and you need a job, Timmy, you need a job? Are you telling me you need a job? I said, okay, here's what do you want to do? If you want to just clock in and go and hang out and do whatever you want to do, I don't care if you work. You just need money, right? So I don't give a shit what you do. And all businesses are like that. If I'm the boss, I'm rich. I can give all my buddies a job and they don't have to be worth a shit. That's the American way.
That is. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and who the people you
Well,
know, are they willing to say they know you? Now we have George Lamberth. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And again, we apologize for not being able to put it up on the screen. We will try to rectify that. Rip, what do you think? And I don't know if you know about this, but you're about to find out if you don't. What do you think about the $50,000 ringside seats for WrestleMania this year?
Well, there ain't no law to being stupid. And if you're rich and you want to buy it just to show, oh, he's paid $50,000 for that, well, he must be a billionaire to be there, or a millionaire or whatever. And and all of a sudden it could be $50,000, but then all of a sudden they got okay at the night of the show. Well, we got you can get these for $5.
Right, the scalp.
Yeah. Oh, everything's a rib. If you want to buy $50,000 tickets, that's on you. But it might be $3 if you get it the night of the show. Who knows?
It's that UFC mentality, but with TKO there. The super chat rolls on. Screaming Baboon, $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Screaming Baboon. Rip, what was it like working at Circle K, and then what was it like working at Amazon? Just
like anybody else having a regular job. At Amazon, you would look at it doing the first quarter. First quarter's over. Second quarter, third quarter, up. We're in the fourth quarter, and we say we made another day. And my legs would be so swollen and so beat up and whatever, and I'd be dragging my leg. I'd just be dragging my leg. And such is life. But you just deal with it just like everybody else. Hell, I was over. Hell, they would put me on the big screen and they'd put wrestling matches on there sometimes. So everything's cool.
Whatever it kept things moving, right?
Yeah.
Another contribution, $2 from Screaming Baboon. Rip, can you give the Iggy and tell Vaughn to do a crawl in and give you a Coke?
I think he went downstairs, and I got the Pepsi right here. See,
lovely.
Yeah, and then this is the Diet Pepsi, so I got that. He had some Dr. Peppers in there, but that was I wanted the fat free, the diet. I wanted the diet, so that's what I saw. So I got the diet. So anyway,
your body is a temple. Screaming Baboon showing his support, showing some love for the working man, the hustler. Rip Rogers living up to that moniker and name. Working sucks. The 9 to 5 stinks, but it's better to be a hustler, baby. And
hey, you go to the shortcuts. You get your stuff from the food bank, right? You do that, man. Hey, don't be afraid to sleep in your car. I've been homeless for up to for 2 months. Yeah, lived in my car for 2 months. So what the hell? You learn survival skills. Yeah, the best thing is to get let's just say a girl that's a bit overweight, and then get her 3 jobs and have her give you the money, And
you're going to eat well.
Yeah.
That's no more food bank, right? She is the food bank.
Take the food away from her.
Yeah, that's the truth. The super chat blowing up. We want to thank you guys again. Apologies for not being able to throw it up on the screen. I don't have the access for whatever. I will take the heat for that. That is my bad. bad Timmy Baltimore, bad Timmy Baltimore.
Hey, when we was talking earlier, and the first 23 minutes of the show that didn't air, and we were talking, and we covered the thing with about the Bobby Fulton show. We plugged the thing about Google with Timothy Beal, and we was talking about the big my AE, the write-in. I want everybody to write in to get me a job. Yeah.
So guys, if you could, whether it's Twitter at Tony Khan. If you have access, if you got a dad in showbiz, a mom in showbiz who maybe you have a connection to the NFL and the Jacksonville Jaguars, front door, back door, side window, we don't care. Write them and let them know that you want Rip Rogers to be a part of All Elite Wrestling and AEW. To think that organization could not benefit tremendously from a mind and anything, Rip. I mean, it's ludicrous that, like you just said, if you had a place and I needed a job, you'd pay me to come, sit on my ass all day. So the fact that
even though you had an unattractive ass, I would say, Timmy, since you slack booty and you straight up and down, we have you sit on that chair, but we have a big old pillow set there so you're comfortable, because pimping ain't easy, you know that.
And limping definitely isn't. That show, by the way, my podcast starts on this Wednesday, March the 5th. So be sure to tune into the YouTube channel, Limpin' Ain't Easy Show. Rip, we have another super chat from the great Drew Wilson. $5 super chat.
$5 super chat, baby.
Rip,
will you be at the convention in Indianapolis this coming April? Well, I just seen the other day, and before Romer would get me in, and he's got him a new hot girlfriend. He's busy having sex 24/7. So I don't know if he's going to be going on, if he can get me in, or if whatever. So if all you people that are all connected with the Indianapolis convention this coming April, whoever it is, just tell them to get a hold of me, and then we'll do it. How's that?
WrestleMania weekend. I'm assuming in Indianapolis, center of the wrestling universe that weekend. No reason Rip Rogers shouldn't be there. Whoever's running that convention, whoever the promoter is, or multiple promoters, I'm sure got their hand in the honey pot that weekend. Get a hold of Rip
Thanks
Rogers.
for bringing that to my attention, Drew.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we can just storm the airwaves or whatever with get Rip there. That's all we need. Get Rip there. That'd be almost like AEW. Then we got get Rip there. Get Rip there.
Yeah. So don't spread yourselves too thin. One thing at a time. Don't get it mixed up. Don't email the Indianapolis promoter about Rip and AEW and Tony Khan about the Indianapolis convention.
Yeah, you got to get it straight.
Get your stuff straight.
I need a job with Tony Khan, and then I need to get to the fan festival in Indianapolis too. So let's kill two birds with one stone. Now, when we was talking about the thing earlier with about the Megan Bain thing with the Thunder Rosa chair thing. Now I think that was when we weren't on the air, but we thought we was on the air. But since I'm not Mr. Technology, and we had Adam Parsons there, and even with my new glasses, I couldn't see who I can't see. So I'm sitting here looking.
Are there really bifocals in there?
Got another $2 one. He's saying $600,000 minimum contract for Rip and AEW. Oh my God, I'd be dead in 2 months. Are you kidding me? You give me all that money, I'd be sitting there going, just shaking. Oh, I'd be having Timmy Baltimore be coming in. He'd be having that. He'd be caning them girls that slack booty he would be all pooched up, and he'd be having the time of his life.
What would be the first ludicrous thing you'd buy? Like just irresponsible.
I probably wouldn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
No, I would have. No, I would have the same underwear. I'd have the same everything on. And if I'd have to go to Dollar Tree to get me the $1.25 razor blade, I would get that. And I probably, I'd like to go into Taco Bell and just order something. But but food costs, everything costs so much.
What happened to the dollar menu?
I don't think they got. No, they got the dollar. But I don't think the dollar menus are the dollar menus anymore.
It's all
So-
beverages are cheap. That's it, because they don't pay any overhead on that.
Close it down and
Okay.
put Timmy over and
Yeah.
Parsons over and Super Chats over.
So we're aborting mission.
No,
here?
no.
But you have to call it 2. So
Okay. No, we're staying along. We're doing good. We're having fun.
Okay.
We got people. As
Yeah.
long as the buying stuff, they can put a little jingle in the pocket with stuff like that.
Patrick
you know
Young
how-
says he slept in his car outside OVW for a week.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I remember when I would go down to Louisville, I'd park my car, and we would go out and do something somewhere, and there would be a lot of the guys that went. They would come in from a different state, and they'd sleep in the parking lot.
Yep.
During the
Yeah.
day, they would come in. What the fuck, right?
Right. But how bad do you want it? If I had to hear another promo in any sort of opportunity situation of a guy trying to get a job with WWE talking about, this is my dream and I slept in my car and I ate ramen noodles. Who didn't?
Yeah,
Who didn't?
you had to
Like,
do that to survive.
so lame. But that's the go-to. I mean, you hear that one all the time.
What's Screaming Baboon say? Did you ever bang a midget? Ever want to?
Rip, did you? Have you? They don't like to be called the midgets. They prefer little
Okay.
people.
Okay. Did
Rip,
I
did you
did
ever
I
have sex
ever
with a little-
did I
little
ever
person?
bang I never did, never really wanted to. But I used to abuse. We would have the midgets, like on a Dale TNT Man tour. He'd have 2 girls, 2 midgets, me against Todd Morton, and Dale TNT Man against a masked guy. Then we would have 4 matches and come back in the battle royal, and he would go to Arizona, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arkansas, and we'd be gone for like 2 weeks. And I'd take them midgets and I'd get them drinking and stuff, right?
Oh boy.
And they would pass out. And so, like, I'd take a picture with my worm out or whatever. This is when we had Polaroids, and their mouths open, and I'd put whipped cream all over the face, like it was the jizz and stuff like that. So it's just wrestling shenanigans, just to entertain yourself. But have I ever been with a midget girl? No. Did I ever really want to? No. But if you got a lot of money and you want to watch, then that will be okay. We can negotiate that. So it's anything in this world, it's about the money, baby. That's all that matters.
Bull Diggin is asking about banging little people or having sex in the ring. Have you ever had sex in the wrestling ring?
Well, let's just say the answer is not no.
You've made magic in the ring before.
I've made
more
magic
ways
in
than
the
one.
ring, baby.
But no abusing the littler folks of little stature.
Yeah.
We see here we got somebody was screaming for the Outrunners versus the Hurt Business. Recently spoke to Truth Magnum, Shiloh. He's doing great there. They got new merch now.
So you're gonna have Bobby Lashley and Shelton against Turbo and as I call them, Turbo and Floyd. Turbo and Floyd.
Yeah, interesting names there. Yep, it's all
Was
Rib.
Randy come over last Saturday night. No, it was the 17th, whatever it was. He come over and he brought me. He come over because he moved to Indianapolis now. So he lives 20 minutes from my house or whatever. So he met me at the gym and he had the big old thing. He spent $21 of just going to Taco Bell to bring me this and that. I ate all that son of a bitch. That was fucking awesome.
Is Taco Bell your favorite fast food? If you gotta,
well, it's the only.
One?
Well, I would love to. Everything else costs too much.
Yeah.
I don't know how people even survive in this world because I ain't got no money. I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing. The electricity's on sneaking back in the house. It's on skeleton, barely there. Oh no, it's what the hell, right?
We could maybe get you on Backpage and prostitute you out a little bit. Rip, there's some
Is that what it is? Backpage? Is that the name
That
of
used
it?
to be. Not that I
Yeah.
heard that. I heard that from someone. Research that I did for a project. I showed pics of a midget once, says Steve Allen. Congratulations, Steve. That's good stuff.
Now I remember I was on a Dale TMNT tour and I was driving, and one of the girl wrestlers was giving me the J. Arthur. She was giving me the wank. I was driving, and there was little Danny, the little road warrior. Remember him? The little road warrior? He was sitting there and his face got right. He's watching, going, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming. The little road warrior was the most over guy. And I said, Danny, how do you get by? He goes, oh, I get crazy money. You know,
You got the running commentary.
oh yeah, the little road warrior. So and you can't make this shit up. It's so out there.
No, you cannot. Screaming Baboon is asking, Turbo is the tall one, right? Yeah. Oh, he's the handsome one.
Okay, Screaming Baboon's got the $2 thing. When is the masked grandpa coming? Well, I got to get in better shape. And then now that I got older, I got like white hair on your chest this long, right? And on your back and on your shoulders. That's fucking disgusting.
Find a nice young lady to trim that for you, Rip. If I were in town, I'd be your young boy. You've done so much for me.
I got the clippers, but
yeah,
it's the long white. That's scraggly and shit, right? Holy shit! I just should have just offed myself. Should have killed myself for being. There should be a time. You're just disgusting looking. You look in the mirror, then you get old, and you used to have the big hammer, and all of a sudden it's about like that. Kayfabe that. Don't tell anybody that I got a little weenie now, where it used to be a whole lot bigger. Is that it?
I can't look down. I haven't seen since my next fuse. I haven't seen my penis in about 5 years. So
can you just look straight and you just put? I guess if I'm looking straight and I put my eyes down and I got a little one, I can't see it. Now, if you was Robert Fuller, you could do that. If you was Bad News Brown, you could have done that. But since you're little Timmy Baltimore.
Well, yeah, my little Timmy Baltimore is, but yeah, if you're Robert Fuller, you could be at the neighbor's 4 doors down and see it. You'd be fine. Bull digging, $2 super chat. Oh, never miss an opportunity to put myself over, Rip.
Oh,
thank you, Bull digging. Timmy, what companies you work for?
Let me see if I'm scrolling or what. I don't know how to roll this thing or what. Okay, wait a minute. I can't see what. Whatever.
Okay, so unfortunately, I can't put it up on the screen. But what companies have I worked for? I started in the Northeast in the Indies with MCW, which is the local Baltimore, Maryland promotion, and then made my way with Pops, WXW Office, Wild Samoans promotion. After I graduated college, moved to Louisville, Kentucky on my own dime to chase with $1 and a dream, the WWE contract. And Rip Rogers gave me my first big break on Derby City Wrestling, which was the sister show to OVW. And that's where I learned to become a competent, at times, passable commentator, and then worked my way up to OVW, first third man at the desk in OVW history. And then got signed to WWE as Dusty Rhodes' assistant right-hand man, and then quit WWE, and since then MCW, the Indies, tried
so
everywhere.
You're over fucking qualified, is what you're saying.
Overqualified, underpaid, just like you, Rip, but a lot less worthy and deserving. But I haven't. Let's just put it this way: I've called like a few good matches. I didn't put John Cena in the WWE or Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, it's ludicrous that you're not getting a check every Monday from somewhere or Friday, whatever the routine is these days. Let's see what else we got. We got another super chat up here. From Screaming Baboon, $5. Rip, did Raven bring back the biggest rats just to pop the boys? I'm assuming he means the big in size, not status. Did you watch? Who was the truest coxman in the business?
I don't know, because you can only be in one place at once. At the time, there was all these territories. Everybody else was there. There was about 800 guys that worked full time in the States.
Wow.
States and Canada. Now, and I'm talking about, you could have 1,000 matches in 3 years,
And everybody was talented and competent. And if you were
everybody, they all knew how to call it in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
They all knew their fucking basics. And if not, you just give them the Iggy and the baby face, shut the fuck up. If I didn't know you, or if I'd said I'd seen you before, I know what you do, I'll call it. Don't worry about it. And that was their conversation. I remember working Salvio Vega. I'm working with him in Puerto Rico, an hour in a big stadium show. And I said, during introductions, just 57, make a comeback, give me some Savate kick into the Cobra Sleeper. As I'm going down, I'll pop the Alka-Seltzer, and then I'm the champion, and I'll be fucking spitting out the white shit coming out of my mouth and everything. And then just lay the belt on top of me and leave the fucking ring, and then I'll have all the other guys come out and get me and bring me out of the goddamn ring. He goes, yeah, but I said, I'll see you. And that was it.
That's it.
And that's all you had to fucking say. And that's the way everybody was. It's like when I was teaching all you guys, Timmy, how many, I don't know any guys, hardly everybody could do an hour Broadway. That was the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I had guys doing 2 hours just to do it.
I mean, there's some infamous 90-minute Broadways with Man Beast and Adam Revolver.
Yeah, that's
Body Guy.
The best was with Body Guy had the match. I can't remember who was with. It might have been Jamin, but they never left their feet. Nobody knew it. Remember that?
Yep, insane.
Remember when Mason Rage got mad because I was abusing? Was it Mondo? I was abusing him, and I left and come back, and I pulled him. And he got everybody. They thought I was getting him, and he said he got hurt. I said, "Get up, you pussy! Don't you fucking rib me! Don't you work me! Don't you treat me like an idiot! Whatever, blah blah blah." Trying to get over. He says, "No, I'm really hurt." And then they start screaming, "No, he's really hurt you, Mason Rage goes, he's really hurt you, son of a bitch!
Back off, you bastard!" The ball's on him, though, right?
Yeah. So I give Mondo the wink, and he fucking kips up. That's when everybody got mad because I tricked him. And I said, "No, that's how you fucking, yeah." I said, "You all took the goddamn bait. You know where I'm teaching phony goddamn wrestling." But the earlier question of the day was, if people know it's phony, how can we hook them? Mm. So then I said, Mondo, I'm going to leave in about 5. I'm going to go in the back and do something. Send somebody to come get me. Hurt your leg some way or whatever. And then, and that was it. And everybody said, "Oh, that's how you do it." And everybody there believed it.
You sow a seed of truth into the work.
And you can say, "Well, everybody else's match is phony, but mine's fucking real." Holy shit. I can't wait to see the real wrestling. What are you going to do? Hardly anything, because it's real. I remember wrestling Tommy Rich. We was at somewhere. The finish was a forearm.
What do you mean a forearm?
A forearm off. The forearm off. We wrestled clean the whole time.
Wow.
The people know I'm going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he broke clean. I went, bam! Hit him with one forearm. He didn't flat back. He went, and he crumbled. And I pinned him 1, 2, 3. Then he got up and he fell down. And this red woman coming up, he really hit him.
He was on Queer Street.
He really hit him. He couldn't get up. And I'm just sitting there going, fucking marks.
But that's beautiful. Like
We control the audience. I remember, Ronnie Garvin, he would never say a word in the match unless it was double knockout, which he might be saying at the ending. But they'd yell boring. He said, we're going to sit here for 15 more minutes.
I'll show you boring.
Yeah, I'll show them boring. Yeah. And at the end, we had them.
Yeah.
And I said, come on, Ronnie, please do something, right? No. What a rib it was.
The beauty of simplicity is lost. I don't even, it's like fireside chat. It's where you can hear about it now, and only on a channel like this and show like this. But in real time, in reality, it's
it used to be less is more. It used to be less is more. Now more is less. Yeah, we destroyed that.
Shane Parks, subscriber and loyal listener and fan, says, any memories of Jack or Jerry Briscoe?
The first time I watched, it was closed circuit TV, and it was the Inoki fiasco with Muhammad Ali, but they paid Muhammad Ali $3 million. So I'm watching closed circuit TV. There was Inoki comes out, slides across, and tried to kick Ali's legs. And he laid on his back for 15 rounds or whatever it was. Yeah, and I sat there and Ali threw a handful of punches. Ali had his legs were bruised and blood clots or whatever, and that was it. And Ali made $3 million for that thing. Ali said they wanted him to lose. He wasn't going to lose. Fuck him.
If you're in the business, you knew that was probably going to be a stinker.
I was not in the business yet. It was right before I'd had my first match. So I wouldn't have known anything. But anyway, the question was, I watched Dory Funk Jr. against Jack Briscoe. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, because all I saw was Dick the Bruiser wrestling.
Right. That man's like that old step, what you were talking about, that Bill Watts kind of man's man type of wrestling.
No, it was just Dick the Bruiser had the world's shittiest wrestling. He would have one fly-in that he would work with, and everybody else were local yokels.
Okay.
They're hoping to get 4 matches a month, just like guys working the independents now. Okay. You can't get good working with others. Shitty guys don't get better working with more shitty guys. You need to be 20 working with a 40-year-old that's been in the business 20 years. You'll learn what to do, what not to do. If not, you just spin your goddamn wheels.
You're smelling each other's farts.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's like I was working for workshops for Nick Goulas, Dick the Bruiser, the Old Sheik, and whatever. And then Paul Christie got me booked for Randy Savage in the Maritimes. Then I went up there. Then I started working every day. Then Randy got me booked for Nick Goulas in the Maritimes there again. And then Frankie Kane, the Great Mephisto, he made me Rip Rogers. And the Freebirds, I met the Freebirds in Nashville, Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes. It was just 2 of them then. And they got me booked with Frankie Kane, who's the Great Mephisto, in Mississippi. And it was just continuing of meeting people, and you get it, and then you'll get an in some way. Then once you get in, you get your buddies in.
Yeah.
It's like Lanny Poffo got me booked out in Portland and Vancouver. The Cuban Assassin got me. I was in the Maritimes. He got me in for Stu Hart, and then you meet people, and then
which Cuban Assassin? The
real Angel Ancevita, the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Screaming Baboon has a suggestion to make some money. Just to interject real quick, $2 suggestion here. Why doesn't Von Lilas shave your back on OnlyFans, Rip?
Von Lilas shave my back? Oh God, no. I wouldn't have enough money to do that. I wouldn't shave. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Now, if it was a hot girl, I'm embarrassed because I got the hair that long and it comes out white. How disgusting is that? That's like my hair up here at the top. I look like Donald Trump. I get it wet, and
You were saying that the other night.
yeah, it looks like 8 hairs. You know, when you get old.
You look great, Rip. Listen, you've had a hell of a life. You've lived the dream. You're still vertical. Give me a break. You're doing great.
Well, everybody, you were dealt the ultimate bad hand, and you're limping ain't easy. You're still doing something. So what the hell, right?
Right. What the complaining does nothing, man. You just get up and get it done. That's the meaning of life. In my book, is to stay vertical as long as humanly possible.
Yeah.
You know, being lazy and
Screaming Baboon said he'd donate $20. Maybe that was getting my back shaved or whatever it was, something like that.
Well, if you're gonna donate $20, go to the super chat. This is helping Rip Rogers and his financial situation. And if you really want to help,
well, I got me the great fanny pack. I got me the great fanny pack right here. And before there were fanny packs, you had the bank bag down your pants and you kept everything in your bank bag. But then fanny packs come out and the guys all donated and they got me a new fanny pack. So some bitches probably got 20 pounds worth of shit in there of everything. Got my razor blades in there. I got my passport in there. I got my every kind of Band-Aid and ointment for my leg that won't heal up and shit. So
yeah.
It's just a labor of love. Hey, we're in the 4th quarter. We're in the countdown. We're the end of fucking life, and you do what you fucking can. You have the diet. You have the Diet Pepsi right here. You have a podcast, and you struggle. You get new glasses, and you still can't fucking see. And you come into this world with no money, and you're going to leave with no money. Screaming Baboon says, "Shave Rip's back."
$20.
$20. Oh, he's going. Well.
You got to do something, or you got to get it just a little bit, right?
Yeah, Lilas would have to. He'd want double that to shave my back. I'm thinking.
Money talks, says 70.
Yeah, money does talk, baby. $20. 20. Money talks.
He's not lying.
But this is the greatest podcast we've had on YouTube today.
Ever today.
The one thing was we started and we was going and we went the first 23 minutes. We talked all this shit and everything, and then all of a sudden it didn't even play because everybody's sending stuff in.
And Vaughn's getting hot at me.
Yeah,
because
and I can't. But I got my glasses and I like this. I can see the screen, but I can't read anything. Now I got my glasses on so I can read, but I still can't read. I guess my glasses are too far. My eyes are too far bad or whatever it is, but I can't. I'm sitting there going like this. George Lambert, he got the $9.99 on the Shave Rip's back.
Shave Rip's back. We have raised $30 to Shave Rip's back.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we were messing up in the beginning.
Hey, just think if we had a hot girl and we're doing the Shave Rip's worm.
Shave Rip's worm.
Yeah, just think about that. Now, I just think, should we put the like the hair removal, like the Nair, the Nair, and you put it down there, and then but you also put it on your hand and you put it up the butthole too. Now that burns, and you know, and my hemorrhoid just be on fire, might start bleeding, but we just tuck it in, twist to the right a little bit, one knuckle only, and we'll be fine with that. So what the hell? No, you're always learning shit in wrestling with Rip Rogers, things to do and things what not to do.
It's only this channel would you hear when asked about. Like
now, Stevie Allen,
again.
I'm over with Stevie Allen, baby. He's putting on he's got the $10 super sticker because he likes shit that I'm talking about. We're talking about freaks here. We're talking about guys that want to be put over and say, oh yeah, there's me. There's Steve. Yeah, I just got the $10 super sticker, baby. Yes, I'm donating the money and I get to hear me. I get to hear this and that.
We would put it up on the screen again, but Von Lilas made the mistake of thinking I'm an actual announcer and broadcaster. I just played one on TV for a period of time.
Yeah, what the hell, right? Uh-huh.
So, hopefully we can rectify it to you guys. Imagine your name up on the screen right now, the super chat that you've given, and we're very grateful for. And
How
your
about
comment.
Mercedes Moné doing money for me?
How about that? Her shaving.
But I'd rather have Snoop do it, and I could make him one of my I could make him one of my bitches, right? Snoop, and he'd be my sexual slave, this and that, and he's and then since Snoop's related to Mercedes Moné, what the hell, right?
Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I gotcha.
What the fuck, right?
Yeah, this is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. You might not know that one, Rip, off the album Doggy Style. 2025, if you came out, I would have you come out. Hey,
I used to go to Van's Music Store in downtown Seymour, like when I was like 14, 15, 16. The 45s cost $1, and the albums cost usually $4 and something.
I don't even know what a 45 is. It's a gun, right?
No, the 45 record.
Oh,
it would play. Okay. It would play one song, right, and then you'd have another 45 and another 45. So you can either get the Beatle album or you buy 8 single songs and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This and that.
Real pain in the ass.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Drew Wilson. I dread this question.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, right now, Rip, did you ever use a muffler in the ring? My muffler's in right now.
But like, now,
I got the muffler in right now. Okay, now.
No, don't do it. Don't please.
Okay, I've done it before, but with Jason Lee, I was working with Jason Lee one time. I spread his mouth. I pulled the muffler. This is the same as the packing. Okay, so I put the thing in his fucking mouth.
Oh my God!
How awesome was that? How awesome was that?
If it's your first time joining this crazy house, a muffler and a packing is toilet paper or some sort of tissue paper in your anus to prevent leakage. Correct?
Yeah.
For more or less. Because the butt is a muscle, especially if you're.
But the thing about it is, when your food is sort of, you got foods that make you shit hard, and you got some where it runs out. So you always got the gimmick snabus, the plug, the muffler, whatever. So you can half-ass that son of a bitch up there, right? And you can always pull it out and give it the eye test or give it the sniff test. And who don't want to smell their own farts? Now, do you know anybody in this world, when you fart, you always put your hand back there?
Always.
And you got to give it the sniff test. That's normal.
It's totally normal and healthy.
Totally motherfucking normal.
Oh my God, Jason Lee, poor Jason Lee.
And Marcus would say Jason Leaf. Called him Jason Leaf.
Okay, so Screaming Baboon with another super chat, $5. Screaming Baboon, picture your comment up on the screen. Use your imagination. This could be radio, theater of the mind and imagination. Mercedes Moné will pluck each individual hair out of Rip's worm with her giant shiny teeth.
Ooh, I don't want that.
She doesn't even take pictures with fans, I don't believe. So
no, I think she makes them stand away from her, don't she, or something like that?
Yeah, she is very, very interesting relationship with the fan base, and nothing like you.
No.
You welcome him in with open arms.
Bit off there.
So I think there's, you want to talk about a super chat donation, to have you and Mercedes Moné in the same room having a discussion about anything, I think would be worth the price of admission, no doubt. Let's see what else we have going on. This has been outrageous, says Young Mighty Joe. You ain't lying, brother. 70QQ, I humble you. little cheeky baby. You couldn't do it up the nose. It's getting crazy out here, Rip. Let's see. Mercedes' next wig is Rip's back hair, says Young Mighty Joe. That's her real hair. Come on, man. How much to wax your back, Rips? Asked George Lamberth. I think it's more than $30, obviously, because that's been donated by now. I saw Jason Lee's sphincter muscle spray Eagle's face. Says Steve Allen.
That's right.
It sounds like a story that happened.
As Eagle said, he shit on me. He shit on me. I forgot about that. When you got someone, when you're sort of dementia-ized and stuff, stuff's got to bring back to you. You know that he was spraying that. Yeah, that's right. Damn.
Steve Allen, thank you so much. You've made a memory come back to life. Jason Lee he's the guy that had the hookup on the car dealership, right? Like boys used to buy cars from him, did they not? Lexington?
I don't think so.
No.
Jason
maybe
Lee
you're different. I'm thinking of OVW Jason Lee. Maybe I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Isn't that obvious by now?
Jason Lee was he was one of the was you there when I was in one of the Suicide Blondes? I was not in the business. Oh, it was Derry King from Memphis, and Jason Lee. They were tag team.
Was Jason Lee the Undertaker's double, the fake taker? Yeah, Sonny managed him and Smoky Mountain. Am I thinking of the same guy?
No. Jason Lee he still lives in Louisville.
Okay. Rip can be her sugar daddy. Free, says Steve Allen, free Guido Andretti. Free Guido Andretti. Is Guido locked up?
Steve Allen is Vito.
Yeah. Hey, Vito. I didn't, we're using government names in here.
Yeah. So you can be different people or whatever, right?
Jason Lee was an OVW original. Yeah, okay, that's who I'm thinking of. I think he had the hookup on the car dealership. He was a dealer of automobiles.
I can't remember.
Pat Tripper Jr. Super chat. What's wrong with your Dodge, Rip?
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I should say that on here or not.
Okay.
My one Dodge, I got it and I don't drive it.
Okay. Yeah. Don't catch a case.
I just don't drive it. I got another car to drive, so I'm driving the other one, putting the miles on that. I was just some girl trying to get a little whiff on me, a little texting me, whatever. You know how it is. Sometimes it's a young boy, sometimes it's an old man. The main thing is give money. I got my Dodge in the garage. I mean, I just don't drive it. And then a couple months ago, I used to start it every day, and then now I think the battery's dead. So I said, "Oh, fuck it." And then in the spring, I'll start it, or I'll get Dylan Bossy to come over and jump it, or whatever, this and that. But it just sits. What it is, it's too. I'm used to old cars, and this is a sort of a nice car. Like, I crashed two Mercedes, got hit from behind. Anyway, such is life. Anyway, we got any more questions out there? I'm having the time. We're on fire here. Timmy Baltimore, he's getting all of it. I'm trying to think what we talked about, what we didn't talk about. Timmy, it looks like you're talking, but there's no sound now. Okay. Timmy, are you talking? I can't hear you at all. So I guess I'm gonna have to text Lilas to have him come and get this off. I'm gonna call Lilas. Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What'd you do?
Well, we're good.
Okay. What'd you do? Now he's coming up because I said I was supposed to text him when this and that. You're sitting there either acting like you're talking and you're not talking or whatever. And how come it went off and now you're back talking again?
I fixed it. I fixed the problem.
Well, what was the problemo?
Well, my mic cord is bent and not plugging in, so I had to unplug my mic, and now I am just using the webcam's mic, which is,
But that's a plus. I can hear you now.
Okay, that's good.
And
That's
then
good.
Pat Tripper, he said that was the best 30 seconds of the show today. And then G33333 Ball says that's the Timmy gimmick.
That's it. Shelby
And then-
Adcock. He was
Shelby
working.
Adcock. I used to work Central City for Shelby Adcock. Who's talking about Shelby Adcock? Is that
Steve Allen.
okay? Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to work for Shelby in Central City every Saturday night.
Saturday night, Central City. Shelby Adcock was at the promoter.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got going on. I think we're out of super chats at the moment. If you want to again donate to the super chat, get your comment read on the air. Also, if you want to @Tony Khan on AEW, whether that's on Twitter or if you know him.
Okay. Don't forget Bobby Fulton's Fair Show. Not this Saturday, but next or whatever it is, extravaganza in Chillicothe, Ohio. You guys can figure it out. What else are we talking? We talked about Googling Timothy Beale, the big Hollywood producer, this and that. And then we talked about write in or however you do it on the computer, since I don't know fuck all, don't know shit. Everybody storm Tony Khan's mailbox or storm Tony Khan's computer or whatever it is. And just, goddamn, give me a goddamn job. I'm 70 fucking one. I'll probably croak real soon. Jesus Christ. Timmy, are you okay there? Okay. And then did the thing with Meg and the Thunder Rosa chair, what did we decide on that? We don't know. We don't know what's in Tony's mind. It might be great storytelling, and in about 6 weeks from now, it'll all make sense.
I think
and then it'll happen again, and she'll go to this, and all of a sudden she'll turn around and she'll hit that girl baby face. Ha ha ha! It'll be the evil Thunder Rosa, and Meg will just sit there standing tall.
They call that they call that long-term storytelling now in the business. That's the new term, long-term storytelling.
Well, the long term would be something that might take years to get there.
Well, the attention span is 7 seconds now. So
okay.
Yeah, we're in dog years basically. Let's see what else we have going on. Timmy looks like the pit boss that kicked me out of Gate City Casino. Pat Tripper Jr. That was me. Who is better NWA champion? This is from Shane Parks, a subscriber.
Is this a paid for question, or is this just asking a question? Huh?
It's from a subscriber.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Who is a better NWA champion, Harley Race or Dory Funk Jr.?
Well, they work two completely different styles. And when you're the NWA champion, you got to be able to work an hour with either the territory's top villain and he's a babyface. But then again, it's like when I was in Portland, Buddy Rose worked against the champion. Buddy was a heel or a babyface. He worked babyface. And then the heel, and then the NWA champion. That's like Terry Funk. You had to be able to go babyface or heel, because when what you would do, you usually come into a territory, and let's say Jack Briscoe came in and worked the Portland territory. So one night the first night in, he's a babyface. Then he's in Portland, then he's in Eugene, then he's in Salem. So some of these towns he's working baby faces, some of these he's working heel, and you adjust your character too.
Situation to the
town. It's just like you can say, well, 10 years ago that some bitch did something, so I'm going to get him back. You know what I mean? You can be whatever, but you had to be good, and you had to be able to go 60 with anybody, even though you could not know them. I've seen them before, and this was before there was. They were even sending tapes out. You know what I mean?
So it existed in a vacuum.
Yeah, I could be working with you. Say, oh, this is Timmy Baltimore. You're going 60 with him tonight. And all I would ask for you, okay, I'll call everything to ring. You know your basics. You say yeah. If not, just listen to me. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in your opinion because I know the recipe I'm building I'm the chef. Let me cook the food. I don't
And
want
I'm
your
gonna
two
make you.
cents. That way, if the match is okay, it's on me. If the match is bad, I want the heat that it was on me. All you got to do is sit back there. Well, why'd you do that? Well, that's what he said. Well, okay, you're doing it right. You're listening to the goddamn fucking leader out there. It ain't like, well, I didn't want to talk. I don't even like talking about today's wrestling.
Well, you know, we're campaigning to get you in the door, so we want to be a little diplomatic, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, Rip, what's your opinion on Mars Hill from Drew Wilson? Mars Hill, do you know Mars Hill? Do you have an opinion about Mars Hill?
What is it?
We're gonna move on. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't see nothing here.
Well, it wasn't in the super chat, but he has contributed and asked a lot of questions on the super chat. So, you know,
I don't know what Mars Hill is to begin with.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know either. I have no clue. We're gonna move on from Mars Hill. I thought Bobby was a piece of shit per RVD. I have no idea what that's about. That fucking piece of leather on the money wheel was worn the F out. That was a push. Drew Wilson. Anyway, Rip, what was like when you said the guys that were the champ had to come in, work 60 minutes, and whoever was the local most top guy locally, how was that crossover? Did that, like, when that happened from a guy being a local top guy to then becoming the traveling champion? Was that the NWA getting together and deciding these things?
Yeah, the NWA would have a promoters meeting. That's like when Superstar Billy Graham was the champion with WWF. Vince Sr. told me right away, this is the day you're going to win it. And it was 8 or 9 months later, and this is the day you're going to lose it.
$10,000 was that the down payment?
That's what it used to be. I don't know what it is anymore.
I don't think they do that anymore.
They probably don't.
A lot of guys don't even take their belts, I don't think. The indies, the ecosystem's been kind of thrown off because guys are getting paid so much. There's no indie darlings, no indie names that aren't under a deal. So no skin off your ass, though. I mean, but the indies are.
The main thing is write in Tony Khan, get me a job.
There it is. Tony, you're a genius. You want to prove it? Hire Rip Rogers. He is savvy on the internet, so he will read it if you guys suggest it. Whether he will comply, that remains to be seen. We've determined what Mars Hill is. It is a neighborhood in Indianapolis, in Indy. So.
Oh, okay. I don't go outside of Lawrence, I don't think. That's the name of it.
Okay. Tony Khan, this is Screaming Baboon suggesting to Tony Khan, hire Rip as lead trainer of AEW. That is not the worst idea I've heard this week. That is, I know Pat Buck that's technically one of his. I think that's his title.
No, he's in administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When they say head trainer, I don't even know what that would look like in AEW.
Well, I think Rhodes got that school. I think Dustin teaches at it. Is what it is. And I don't know if it's in Atlanta, but it's in Georgia. It's in Georgia, and Dustin Rhodes is just knowledgeable motherfucker. And when he was a rookie, he made some trips with me. His head's on straight. He didn't act spoiled or anything. He was always humble, and he always had a good attitude. So that's all I can go by. I just know how I interacted with him, and he could take constructive criticism. And I said, you're going to learn this and that because you're this far of getting into business right now. Now, 5 years from now, and hopefully you've had all these matches and shit, you'll be a whole lot better. So if anything really sticks out of you can work on, I can help you with this and that, but don't be, some guys would just massacre the young guys and they want to kill themselves because they're in love with the business. And are they any good? No. I was not trained. You learn by failure. Everything in the wrestling business.
That was the thing though, Rip, with you. It was, first of all, you were firm but fair. Everybody was across the board, rotten until they weren't. And and you made it okay to fail forward. You made it wasn't the end of the freaking world when the bell was rang and get the F out.
Yeah.
It was, it was a learning experience. And you're right, like some trainers just beat the guys down with, it's not, there's a constructive criticism and destructive criticism.
Well, it's like when they used to have the power plant, and Pez worked at the power plant.
And that was Sergeant, the Sarge, right?
Yeah. And all they would do, they was trying to kayfabe. So they just make it so hard. You got to teach these guys. I can talk softly to you. I said, look, and said, I can yell and scream at you. Look, you lazy fat motherfucker, which is more fun to say. But some guys, now they would blow their brains out, or he's abusing me or whatever. You couldn't say anything, but no, you can't be skinny or fat here.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make it in a cosmetic business, I'm trying to make a movie star out of you, but it's up to you to eat right and to get your cardio in, whatever, and then concentrate on your wrestling when you're here and learn less is more. Learn how to punch. Hardly anybody can throw a goddamn punch anymore. Just fucking rotten.
There's only so many things you can control, right? In the industry, and showing up over prepared, showing up. But you can control to a great extent how you look and how you present.
Yeah.
And why would you get into the industry? Look at what it is, say you want to get there, and then not do that. That's
so that by the time I'm in the wrestling business, I'm so many weeks away from a physique contest because I've trained since I was 14 years old. Then I just go on a fucking diet and dehydrate. That's so I could get in 12 contests in 18 months and win 2 clean and say, fuck y'all, and still wrestle every day.
When was that? There's the picture that is very often used of you. You have just a glorious bleach blonde mullet, and you are just like trim and fit. I don't know what the pose is, but it's like the stomach's tucked in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Your head, you're so trim, your head looks big on your body.
Yeah, that was in the Mr. Kentucky contest when Arnold was there.
Oh wow.
Arnold was there one time, and Lou Ferrigno was there one time. Because Arnold was on TV as Conan. Well, he was in Conan the Barbarian, right? That's when I bought his picture for $29, and I charged him $40 for mine. He loved it. And then Lou Ferrigno, he was the Incredible Hulk on TV. So we actually drew 2,500 people to a physique contest doing a Mr. Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is when the Mr. Olympia wasn't drawing that.
Was the relationship between Arnold and Lou Ferrigno anything like it was in Pumping Iron, where he was just kind of like making fun of him for being deaf?
Well, who knows? No, they were happy because they were getting paid so much money, flown in like big shots. Here's the food catered in. Eat what you want. Do what you want. You want to do a posing routine? That's fine. Just act like you're mentoring the boys, being nice to them. And everybody was happy.
Everybody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like besides the great wrestlers? George Lamberth is asking, what was it like living in Portland? What was the scene like? Because you weren't a drinker or a partier. That wasn't your deal.
So it was heaven. The reason it was heaven, I stayed at the Bomber Hotel where all the boys stayed. The Bomber Hotel, they had an actual World War II airplane over these gas tanks. And then they had all these little cabins all in a row. There, Johnny Mantell was in a cabin. Bush and Luke were in a cabin, and then there was Salvatore Bellomo in a cabin. Then I'm right there. Then Iceman Parsons come in, and then Piper and Buddy would be visiting because this is the place. After all the shows, the rats would all come here.
It's where the action is.
It was yes, the world famous Bomber Motel in Milwaukee, Oregon. And I bought a car. I flew in, bought a car for $300 across the street. Drove it to Sam Laprenzi's gym, worked out there every day, and then and when I left, I sold it to some guy that worked at the Bomber Hotel for $300. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I made the towns with the bushwhackers, and then sometimes me and Buddy would go and take the Trans Am, Buddy's Trans Am, this and that. Buddy lived on the other side of town with his 3 dogs, Pepper, Pretzel, and Pebbles. Okay, Drew Wilson asked me, Rip, are you on TRT? No, I'm not. I've already trained today once. As soon as I leave again, I will go out and train again. I weighed 182 pounds today. So I lost, no matter what, when you get old, I'm 71 years old. I got no strength. I just pump and everything on me is messed up. Torn rotary cuffs. I can't touch this bicep. I broke my elbow and didn't go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got 2 hips that ain't mine. The knees super swollen. It's so bad, this and that. But anyway, Drew Wilson, no, I'm not on TRT. To me, TRT is cheating. But
TRT for context is testosterone, a testosterone booster.
Yeah, whatever it is. No, I beat all when I was in my 20s. I had natural testosterone in me. Then everybody else would have the bitch tits. You see guys that look shitty, then they look normal, then all of a sudden they look pretty good. And I said, well, and then now all the guys that were like that, they're all dead because you all kill your insides, and that's the way it is. So don't be fat because you'll kill your insides. And then don't do steroids. Oh, you'll look great, but then your body fucking everything shuts down on you and you're fucking toast. So
Screaming Baboon predicted that you would that question might set you off a little bit.
What's that?
The question about the TRT, because you take such pride in being and your physique being natural.
I don't take any, haven't, never thought about it or anything. And they said, well, if you're having trouble getting your dick hard, get you some girl that ain't fat and 18 years old, have her give you a wank, put a little lotion on there, put it in the microwave 10 seconds, and that son bitch will work.
What in the microwave? What are we putting
the
in
lotion?
The
you gotta have hand lotion, right?
Okay.
So put the little tube of lotion. 10 seconds is all you need in the microwave.
Okay.
You don't want cold lotion coming out in your hand to put on your worm, do you? You
God
want warm
forbid.
shit. You don't want a cold blowjob. You want a warm blowjob. Get real.
Olive oil is a great substitute, by the way, if you're, it's your birthday.
I just remember sniffing attitude or olive oil when I worked in my grandpa's store when I was about 12 or whatever it was. I'd help him with Thursday was truck day, so I had to get there and help put up the stuff, and he'd pay me 50 cents, so it was
That's
good.
what you want to think about when you're getting down and lubing up is working with grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. Somebody asked, I believe it was our German friend, am I able to watch modern wrestling or does it make me angry? No comment.
Oh, I can't watch it because I get mad about it. All I watch is somebody will send me something on my phone, but I'll look at old stuff from how many years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much better and now if I was just a fan of today's wrestling and I hadn't been a wrestler, it would be great. Because it'd be like it'd be like the NBA where the game is total shit. They're shooting 53 pointers a game. Every possession, they're palming the ball. They're taking 8 steps. It's just total bullshit. There's no reason to be that way. Oh, it has to evolve. Why? You're doing sellout business. You're making all this money. Everybody's fucking happy and you got to change shit. Oh, now they got, in the pros, you can take this many steps. And in college, you can take this many steps. And then they got all different rules for traveling and stuff. It's totally fucked up. If I wasn't such a great big basketball fan, I would never watch it because then they get the people on there that they want to argue about everything. Oh no, I didn't travel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, that was this and under this rule. Just play goddamn ball. What the fuck?
Some of them need to learn how to sell too, don't they? Just terrible.
Well, they don't. You know. Well, the thing about it is, if it's my company and I'm the boss, right, and I'm a billionaire, Timmy, you're the heavyweight. You're the heavyweight champion. I don't want you to sell nobody, no matter what.
Right.
If you sell anybody, I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
No matter what they do to you, do not sell. And as like Dick the Bruiser said, I don't cover you unless it's the finish. Nobody kicks out on the Bruiser. I said, I'll fucking put that one right there. Yeah.
That's top guy shit.
Yeah. And then fucking Adam's calling back. God damn, Adam. What the fuck? I'm still on here. I talk about covering a guy, right? Well, he hooked the leg. So I would fucking hook the fucking leg, and they kick out. What everybody else does, if you fucking do it, you fuck with everybody. Anything too smooth in wrestling's phony. I don't want a perfect backdrop. I want Ricky Steamboat to go for the fucking spin under, and I fucking stop, and he falls on his fucking ass. I fucking laugh. Then I miss a fucking elbow. He moves. I turn around. He's got me underhooked, and boom. Then I go right.
Right. Right.
Just because you're a babyface, you don't have to do stuff perfect.
And
anyway, I get it.
But
I'm totally out there. It's real different. But I just see the things this really different. That's like I could not stand ECW. No, you work your whole time to use a gimmick one time and you knock the guy and they carry him out. They hit him with every fucking gimmick, and then they go under the ring and get another gimmick. Then they get a bigger one. Then they get a bigger one. Then they get a bigger one. Then they get a goddamn bigger one. No, thank you.
Isn't it strange that one of the most over things in wrestling is a damn piece of furniture? Like there's a disconnect with me, and it makes a sound and it explodes into 3 pieces. Like I just don't. That's
a chair. All you got to do is slam it together. Oh, yeah. Or you hit them and they duck and you hit the post. Oh, then when I hit you, I put my hand up there and I jab you in the throat with you, and I don't even touch you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you fucking do it.
That's how you work. If you guys want to see something very cool, kind of like Easter egg old footage, it's not even. Rip, you wouldn't consider it old for someone me. It was, it's right around when I was in the thick of being a fan. It was it was floating around online recently. It's Sting and Rick Rude are. It looks like a banquet or some sort of press conference, some sort of media.
Oh yeah. I'm the security guy there. I'm working security for Watts. Yeah.
It's incredible because the segment's great. Rick Rude comes up, says, Sting, you're not going to have a drink with me. I'm the world champ, not going to have a drink. And you can see in how the pull apart goes that Rick Rude is a legit murderer.
Badass.
He is a badass.
Everything was great till everybody else got in. Instead of having to pull apart, everybody else started fighting. And then out of it, somebody throws a working clothesline. The guy takes a bump. You just killed the whole fucking segment.
I'll tell you who didn't kill the segment. In the background, the Hustler Rip Rogers. Breaking out the carpet so nobody rolls an ankle.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. That was like Mark Jindrak when he fucking rolled his ankle. When he didn't he wanted to do some shit. He come in late at night. I said, no, put your boots on. I'm just going to do a couple things. Okay. Then he would jump all the way. He was so athletic. He jumped all the way to the floor, out of the ring, rolled his fucking ankle. Fucked himself up bad for a long time.
you know, and a lot of people think Mark Jindrak just kind of fell off the face of the earth and after WWE. No, he's done really well for himself in Mexico.
Yeah.
Made a great living.
Mhm.
And just, you know, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. And I think you can get AAA on one of the Tubies or Pluto TV. I watch it a lot. What else? Ricky Steamboat's birthday is today. Ricky Steamboat used to come into FCW pre NXT, and the thing about, you know, here's how disenfranchised even and ungrateful we can all, you know, Ricky Steamboat, when he would come in to talk to the kids and everybody would have a match. It would be like a 15 match day. He would, at the end of everyone's match, stop and talk to the participants at least for 5 minutes. So being the ungrateful pricks that we all were, it's like, oh, come on. But you know, like it's invaluable. He cared that much. Like he would give everybody that individual attention, no matter their experience level. Just like one of the genuinely like gives a shit guys. You know, that was my impression. I don't know. You know, obviously you know him a lot better and have a lot more experience with him.
I remember working with Steamboat, and Flair was a booker, right?
Yeah.
So I'm working with Steamboat, and it's a TV match. So Flair comes back. What was that, Rip? And I said, Steamboat goes, oh, Rick, that was me that was messing up, not him.
Wow.
And what'd Flair do? He got mad. Got beat red, turned around, stomped off.
Because he couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Wow. How many guys would do that?
Huh?
How many guys do you think would have done that?
Ricky,
yeah.
But Ricky just said, no, that was on me. Yeah, if I did something, I said, yeah, no, that was on me. Why that? Well, I said, well, that was I thought it was a great idea, but I found out that it wasn't. You know what I mean?
In retrospect, and execution.
But what I would tell people, I said, no, me and you's working. You're the shits. I know what you can do. We're shooting for a B-. If you do everything to the best of your ability, and I call everything to the best of your ability of what you can only do, I'm trying to make you Ric Flair, but you're not. So just listen to me. Do the best you can. Be relaxed. I'm not out here to bury you.
Right.
They got me with you because they know you're a C-. I might be able to pull a B- if we're lucky. We're not shooting for an A because then we're going to fuck up. You're not going to be in your comfort zone because you can take the simplest move and do nothing, but oversell it. But guys know they want to take everything and register, but not sell anything. Okay, center of the board, we got a $10.
He is our contributor of the day.
Okay, how was Ron Fuller as a promoter? Ron Fuller was the best promoter I've ever worked for.
Really?
I went down there. He could take the same guys, Jimmy Golden, Ron Fuller, Robert Fuller, Bob Armstrong, Brad Armstrong, Steve Armstrong, Brian Armstrong.
Jesus God.
And they worked the same how many weekly towns a week. And you could come back 3 years later. It's the exact same guys, but all the guys that were good are now bad.
Oh. See, you always preach that you get one turn, right? One good turn.
That's one good turn. Now, what's the Big Show? How many times have he turned? 27 or 28?
I think he's up. Yeah, 26. I think.
Okay, so Andre had the one turn, right?
One turn,
and it meant everything.
Yeah.
That's how you fucking do it. They got to believe in the guy. It's like Buddy Rose was a heel for 9 years in Portland. Then he turned babyface a year, whatever it was. Then he turned heel again and was always heel the rest of the time. I knew that son of a bitch wasn't good.
Right. Right. The heat
Uh-huh.
was even even boiling over because he lulled them into a false sense of security. That's beautiful.
That's right. So that's the thing I'm looking at. That could be the thing, a slow thing of Thunder Rosa, right? Where she could have hit Meg, but she didn't. But she was used to being she's got this thing on her mind. I'm going to start being more rough because I'm not getting any title shots now. Then they start thinking, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, 6 weeks later, she turns full fledged. Now just think the same thing happened again, right? She hits the fucking ring and there's fucking Meg and standing up tall to her. She takes that fucking thing and the other baby face that was, yeah. And then she turns around and she hits that baby face from behind with that fucking chair. And holy shit. Now it all makes sense. It's a storytelling.
At Tony Khan. At Tony Khan.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Tony Khan. For Rip Rogers, our center of the board, $5 super chat. What was your opinion of Norville Austin?
Norville Austin, he was one of the original Midnight Express. It was Norville Austin, Dennis Condrey, and Randy Rose, who was his real name was Randy Alls, but Randy Rose. And I met them in 80 when I went down on TV for Fuller in 83. I did TV for a week and in the house shows. And then I worked for Watts and I come back to Fuller and worked for 11 months there. And I started as a junior heavyweight. I put about 3 guys out in loser leave towns. And I was working with Jacques Rougeau and he started calling, they actually weighed me. And then I was over on, and I couldn't be allowed, I couldn't allowed to be junior heavyweight. And I was the skinniest guy there. And they started calling me Fatso. Rougeau would be calling me Fatso. I ain't fat, and I'd stick my belly out. You know how you push your belly out? I'd pull my pants up to my up my armpits if I could, having the time of my life. And that's
they only know what you tell them.
Huh?
They only know what you tell them, and you educate them to that. They believe the illusion.
Mike, when I come in with Fuller, the first time I went in, I started in the first match. Then I worked a junior heavyweight product with Ken Lucas, Tim Horner, other guys, this and that. Then I finished up the last 10 weeks with Austin Idol, going on dead last over all the company men.
Wow.
Then I come back, I don't know how, about 3 years later, I think. And I started out with Adrian Street first night. Boom.
Hot.
Just starting. Because they already knew me. And Adrian had been doing that great heel gimmick. Then he turned babyface. So now it was like I'm effeminate and he's effeminate, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's when we worked every day except 3 spot shows for 6 months. Then when I was done, I told Fuller I'm leaving. He said, "What?" I said, "I'm not ever going to top that." And I'm into going. I was wanting to hit every territory. You know what I mean? Just to get a fucking style. I can say I fucking did it.
Was your confidence at an all-time high? Like you knew you were.
I knew I was fucking great. So that's why I'm not scared of doing jobs. I said, if you would lose one time, you're done. But since I was always a heel too, no matter what, I've never lost a match in you son of a bitch. We watch you lose 52 weeks in a row.
You lying sack of shit.
Mark, I've never told a lie in my life. And you, sir, are the worst, dirty, low-down, backstabbing, lying dog I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. What's a heel do?
Yeah. Oh, anyway, Norville Elston was a top star. This is center of the board. He was great, and he was one of the original Midnight Expresses. But the Midnight Express, they had so many different guys. They had, then they had Phil Hickerson in there. Hell, Honky Tonk he was part of that at one time too. They were interchangeable through different territories through the years. A whole lot more.
Center of the board asks with the $2 super chat, what happened to Fine
ass Miss Brenda? Fine ass Miss Brenda died, I don't know how many years ago. So we went to, we worked in Fuller's territory. We worked in Ole's territory. We worked in Fuller's territory again. But old Fleabag, she was a stripper. She was a road stripper. And she had more heat. She knew more about working an audience than anybody I'd ever goddamn seen. And she was a legit kung fu black belt. That was so funny, right?
Wow.
Somebody
No
broke in our
shit.
apartment one time. I can't remember if it was Lexington. Yeah, I was in Lexington. And somebody broke in our apartment. And so I grabbed the guy, put him in a front face lock. I had her call the cops, and she come back with that Twisto-Flex and start beating him half to death. And she knew all the cops. So the cops would come into the strip joint all the time, right? Then she got on TV, and it made her more popular, you know. But anyway, yeah.
She would travel and do features.
Do what now?
Like as a dancer, she would travel. A stripper, she would travel on the road and do features, like go to different.
Yeah, she was a star. Yeah, she'd
Yeah.
come in and do a 30-minute show. And she'd be on Miss Brenda's next performance is at 10 o'clock.
Right.
And at 2 in the morning, it's the last one of the night. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
And then so she was always a night owl.
Yeah. Which I've had my plenty of relationships with the lifestyle matches up with
what now?
dancers. The wrestling lifestyle with strippers always matched up.
It was always perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like Oz, what's his name? Kevin Nash, right? He was always a bouncer. The bouncer is like the same as working in a bar or whatever, right? It's just perfect because you work night, you sleep late, you work night, you train all day, then you go to your gym and you're hustling Snabits Fabits the whole time. And that's where you're over. Well, he's the bouncer at the bar. He's over. You know, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah. Shout out to 7th Street Crazy Coconuts and PTs in Louisville, Kentucky.
PTs in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
Green Light, scary place. Shout out to Green Light. They're getting upset. Oh, here we go. Center of the board. Did you ever? And this is a $5 super chat. Center of the board. You're the star. You're the real MVP. Rip, did you ever wrestle Jerry Stubbs, Mr. Olympia?
I wrestled Jerry Stubbs a whole lot. When I first went to Jerry Stubbs is he called Fuller to get me booked in there after I left. I wrote a lot with him, and Arn Anderson always called him P-Head. And for Fuller's first, Arn was under the hood as Super Olympia, and Jerry Stubbs was Mr. Olympia. Then they worked against each other, and all of a sudden there was. But Jerry always worked pretty much Pensacola. He didn't like to go on the road that much. He lived on.
A lot of guys in Florida, they didn't want to leave.
Well, it's like if you lived on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
You can work Portland. There's Vancouver right above it. Below it, San Francisco's a territory. Below that, there's the Los Angeles territory. Then you go over and work for The Rock's grandma and Peter Maivia, but before it was somebody. I see the guy, but I can't place him right now. You could work there, so you could work each place a year. Come back in 5 years, and they still remember you. And you're already over, and you don't like to travel that much. The same way you could go work in Tampa for a year. Then you can go to fucking North Carolina and work for a year. Then you can go to fucking Atlanta for a year, Fuller for a year, Watts for a year, Fritz von Erich for a year, Bob Geigel for a year, Jerry Jarrett, Nick Goulas, Ron Fuller in the Knoxville, in the old WW. How many territories are there? You could go everywhere, and everybody starts knowing who the fuck you are.
Yeah, then you get there's always somewhere to eat.
I wrestled Jerry Stubbs when he was as a baby face. He was a great worker, no doubt about that. He was always jacked, and then he had that fucking hood on. So anytime you got a hood on, you're a man of mystery. So he would always be out with the bitches, and he'd have his fucking hood on. He'd be hitting it with the hood on. Kayfabe that. Okay. Where'd you go, Timmy? Timmy limped off. He must have to pee, this or that. I don't know how to turn the thing off. So let's see. This must be the longest rip. It is. Okay, Timmy's back now. Did you pee or what, Timmy?
No, I had my door open. The dogs were barking, and I didn't want to interrupt the broadcast, so I interrupted the broadcast.
Okay. But you know, he must have had to go pee or do something. I'm trying to roll this thing and see if we got any more questions. No, we're going to stay on here till as long as we had get some kind of money. And this is the world's longest one. I want everybody to have a good time. I don't care, you know. I'm just trying to get some moolah in here. So, see, I gotta have money because my post office box is due for the year.
So how you get?
Yeah. So I don't spend money on food and try and do this or that. And then so I got to have all the money because let's say I live in a Afro-American community where my house is. Mm-hmm. And let's just say I've had the drive-by shootings and my mailbox has been destroyed.
Hence the P.O. box.
Yeah, so I've had a P.O. box for 20 some years. So anyway, that was that. Austin Idol was more charismatic. That's in Superstar Billy Graham. Well, when Idol was one of the guys that copied Superstar Billy Graham, and Idol, when I worked with him, I learned that when I let him be Austin Idol, he was great. If he tried to wrestle, we don't wrestle at all. We give him strictly entertainment. He was rotten. He knew how to draw fucking money, that's for sure. But you had to work his style. If not, he was like a fish out of water. But what it was, his promo was so good. His look was so good. His costumes was so good. He could have been goddamn combination Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Sr., Terry Funk. But his no matter what, he was going to overshine his work. So I said, I know what you can do. So let's just cater that.
Let's just keep it.
Keep it. No, I'm not going to make you look bad at all.
He's still in the NWA. He's like the kind of like a crazy uncle there.
Okay.
And NWA, Billy Corgan's NWA is very OVW heavy. Aaron the Idol Stevens, Mike Mondo, Elijah Burke, APOC, Rick Victor. I know I'm missing a few people. But when I went there to do Mickey's Empower women's show, it was like OVW reunion. It was crazy.
Billy Corgan needs to call me too. I need to get whatever I can get. This is the last. We're in the 9th inning of my life, ladies and gentlemen. I know that, you know that, everybody knows that. So I just want to get out and make a little moolah and see people and have a good time, because I love goddamn pro wrestling.
And it loves you, and it should love you more. Here's another super chat from our good friend, center of the board. Excuse me. For Rent in the Hood, was Mobile, Alabama, one of the rowdiest towns to work in? I'm from
no, it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. But when you compare stuff to Durban, South Africa, where I got knifed and had 3 riots in 3 weeks, and different places, you know. I remember hell in Lexington, Randy was punching. He punched 3 marks one night, like he was walking to the ring and somebody fucking kicked him in the, you know.
Yeah.
And he's just boom, 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 boom. You know, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he wanted, and then we was always paying the cops for security anyway, so they weren't going to do nothing. That's just part of fucking wrestling. In the old days, like I remember for Watts, somebody might do something, and then Watts would take them. The cops would take them in the back in the dressing room. It was always with the heel. The heel would scare the shit out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Keep them in line.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got into that, but no, I wasn't one of the big rowdy towns to work in because there's a lot of people that were beach people. That's why they lived in Mobile and they were more educated and rich. Some places was really bad, and some places you think it was bad and it wasn't. You just you just don't know. And then all of a sudden, if I knew an audience, I could read an audience, and I might take them to the edge just to do it. And I'm laughing. You know what I mean? Because once you finally get it, you got all that confidence, and you're controlling that goddamn audience. What's so funny?
Yeah. The center of the board says he knows a guy who worked at his high school, jumped in the ring one night in Mobile, got slammed by Randy Rose. Well, he's lucky that's the lead. That's all that happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many times Randy would be in the ring, and I feel sorry for the fucking marks, really. Because I know fucking Randy, he's going to run at him and just start being, and a lot of guys are like that, you know. But anytime I hit a mark, all I would do was hurt my hand. They're putting their head down. I'm trying to hit him in the fucking nose or the fucking jaw. They're putting their head down, and I'm going to break my hand or something because they're putting their head down. That's why I don't remember how I'm always saying you don't punch somebody in the forehead or the top of the head. You punch them in the jaw or the soft T-zone because you know that much in a fight. You don't hit nobody because you hurt or break your own fucking hand. So I hate it. I don't like. Have a good working punch, so good I can punch you where it looks like it should be. I know the psychology of punching. Don't give them too much. There's no blood. There's no swelling. It's phony. I don't hit you because I'm hurting my own hand, hitting you in the top of the head or in the goddamn forehead. So why would you punch somebody in the fucking forehead? Fuck.
Did you, and you say that there were guys that were really like, they were raring and begging somebody to come in the ring. They enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, just so if you don't know anybody out there in the chat, it's fair game. Don't get in the ring. Do not, like, you behind the guardrail, different story. Don't touch them. But if you hop that rail and you get in that ring, game over.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yeah. They guys don't get that far without not knowing how to protect themselves. I mean, Rip, you even taught me the sugar hole, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, well, that was Garvin's big thing. See, we would have a fucking Garvin would have a fucking seminar, and it would be Garvin and Pez and like George Weingroff. George Weingroff and Pez they wrestled at UT Chattanooga. Pez was the first black state heavyweight champion in Tennessee. Pez was a badass.
Yeah.
And then so these guys would fuck with all the guys that were trying to be wrestlers and stuff, right?
Right.
And George would just laugh at him. And George was in Indianapolis. He was a wrestling coach, is what he was. At the school for the blind.
Oh man, oh, shit.
And then Pez was Pez.
Yeah.
And he was the first black heavyweight state champion in the history of high school in Tennessee. Then he also could bench press incline press 405 for 4. Yeah. And he was Kentucky State. That 1 year I would be getting into on TV. I was the bodybuilding champion. He was the powerlifting champion. And we were legit, and people saw that they saw that we were legit. Whereas it's like if we went into a town and Memphis went into a town, they had the better TV with the better TV time slot, and we're running the same shows, but them guys did phony wrestling. We beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we were hungrier.
And if they didn't,
as you get old, you want to get in, get out. And when you're old, you get in, get out, don't get hurt. When you're young, let's beat each other. If it's too much, give me the Iggy. If not, I want you to beat the fuck out of me, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. It had been like that Rick Rude thing. Okay.
So yeah,
He
you guys watch it.
He could do that fucking. He was such a fucking bad. His fucking thumbs were so fucking big. When I first met him in Louisiana, he had just had hepatitis or something, and he's about 6'4", and he was skinny as a rail, but he was an arm wrestling champion. And then he started taking his gas again, and he started getting big and strong. You know what I mean? But he was so tall, and he had those abs and long legs and stuff.
Crazy. Nobody was so like
he was just. I never had a crossword with him about anything. But I didn't want to have a crossword with anybody, because then you don't want to judge a book by its cover.
Never know.
Because all those Fullers, all those Welches, the fucking great uncles and grandpas and shit, they were the legit badasses of all the wrestling down south. Everybody was scared to death of the fucking Welches. They'd come in and run you out of your own fucking town. If you was a wrestling promoter, you were scared to death of them.
Hey, we got center of the board. One last question, and for the super chat. Hey, center of the board, again, thank you so much. You've been awesome for this this Wrestling with Rip Rogers episode. What about Joe LeDuc? I don't know.
Joe LeDuc was an awesome motherfucker. At one time, he was one of the strongest guys in Canada, and he used to do the thing years ago when he would come into a territory. Then they had a tape of it. He didn't have to do it anymore. They would get 5 guys, and they would try and pull his arms apart, right?
So he would interlock his hands.
Yeah. And the guys would be trying to pull, and they would take these ropes, and they would all pull on the rope so that it would take his elbow out. You know what I mean? And nobody could ever beat Big Joe. So he come in with that shit. They play that like 5 weeks in a row. Then his fucking promos, he was fucking. I rode with some trips with him, and he had a big custom van and shit. He was funnier than fuck. And he could act fucking crazy and give me that fucking crazy look. And he was scary and shit. And when he'd fucking blade, he'd fucking just fucking bang, bang. And he always had to have color every fucking night in the clubs. Not the spot shows, but in the fucking clubs. You know what I mean? Because that's how you had to fucking draw. You had to beat the baby face up and leave him fucking bloody. And the next week he left you fucking bloody and whatever. But it was, see, down south, they didn't have, years and years and years ago, there wasn't a lot of sports teams down south. Right. All of a sudden, it's like the Miami Dolphins, and then, but it was like the Atlanta Braves. Hell, they were the fucking Milwaukee Braves before that, and then before that, they were the Boston Braves. Then they finally started getting the franchises west of the Mississippi. The Brooklyn Dodgers became the Los Angeles Dodgers. The San Francisco Giants, or the New York Giants, with Willie Mays playing center field, they moved out to San Francisco. They were the San Francisco Giants. You got all this. The Brooklyn, San Francisco. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But at one time there was no sports teams west of the Mississippi.
So all they had was wrestling.
Yes. That was the live entertainment. Wrestling would come to town for you. And if them Harlem Globetrotters come to town, everybody came.
Yeah.
Oh, we had Harlem Globetrotters in Seymour. We drew 10,000 people. They were we had the largest high school gym in the world, and they were still standing there.
See, could one bad show, one renegade shit show, not that many of those everybody was capable back then, or for the most part, could kill the town, correct?
You say they did, but they couldn't.
That was something I said.
No, the people just looked at them as well, these guys just ain't any good.
Yeah. No. Drew Wilson asking if I'm related to Max Headroom. I've heard that before.
Is that the talking whatever?
Yeah. The guy that, the McDonald's late night guy.
Yeah, I remember that years ago, or whatever the fuck it was. I can't.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, shit, we'll start talking, and all of a sudden, I'll think about something I haven't thought about for how many years.
That's life, man.
Yeah.
Rip, I'm gonna start the wrap, but I wanna nail our plugs here.
Okay.
First of all, the show in I don't have the information on the meet and greet with Mick Foley and that day of at the matches a week from
Mhm.
tomorrow. If you want to read that off, or if you
Well,
found that
I'm texting Clint because I don't know how to turn the thing off anyway. So I'm gonna say, can you come up here?
Also,
But he might be on the phone.
if you guys
Okay, no, he's coming up right now. Okay.
be sure to tweet at Tony Khan, tweet at
Oh yeah, have
Billy.
Tony Khan give me a goddamn job.
Or
Billy
at
Corgan,
Billy.
Booster, at it.
Yeah. Billy Corgan at NWA. It's at Billy on X. These guys get those tweets. Also, Rip's GoFundMe is on. You can go to at Hustler. What's your Twitter handle, Rip? It's at Hustler. I'm gonna get it. At Hustler 2754.
Yeah, Hustler 2754.
And if you can't find it there, go to at Timmy Baltimore. I posted it. It's just right down there. Also, Limpin' Ain't Easy.
Timmy, hold on. There's
No!
Timmy in the whole
Yeah.
That's me and Mickey James at the Mickey James Masterclass Seminar.
Timmy
That's
and the
me and
Macho
Ripple
Man.
Buddy.
Yeah.
We couldn't be in a worse neighborhood. Macho Man had a hood pass. That's me after winning the Super Bowl. I think that's when I got signed. I don't know what. Yeah, that's the OVW 2007 class. That's virtual who's who of. There's the DCW class, another virtual who's who, EC3. That's me, X-rayed.
This is awesome.
Terrible.
We started out so fucking shitty.
We came
Timmy
back.
the office boy.
Oh,
That's me
he
looking up
screwed
porn on
his
Danny's computer.
butt. Wasn't a little bit of Snabits back there.
That's Cody Rhodes, Matt Cardona package. There's the package. That's why I put that one up there.
Yeah.
I thought Package was a girl there.
He is a girl.
That's
Yeah.
me and APOC from 1978 and Kenny Bolin,
Victor of the Ascension.
Victor of the Ascension.
Now,
yeah.
who was the big guy in back of Bowling?
Al Barone.
That's what I thought it was. Okay. I just looked
How
at
you
his
doing?
pics.
There's me. Yeah, that's APOC there. That's Outrunner Truth Magnum and the great Twinkle Toes, BBC announcer.
That ain't truth, man.
no,
Is
no.
that true? Oh, it is truth. I thought that was Johnny Jeter. That
I
is
did-
truth.
Yep.
That
Truth
is.
Magnum
See,
right there.
yeah.
And
Dean Hill. All right. Dean's
the
number
coup de
one.
grace, Dean Hill.
This don't get any fucking better than this.
Telling Johnny Jeter, that's one of my favorite promos of all time. He goes, I coach my kids I coach my kids little league, and you're gonna come out here? Fuck you! Greatest promo of all time. I was like, oh my god, oh it's so funny.
Now, in a different day, you could say when you flip somebody the bird, you would say, Crazy Robertson, who's a lawyer, he would say, "Hey, is that your sperm count, IQ, or number of white parents?" That's what he would say in the 70s, right? Oh
All
God!
right, next to center of the board, man. He did all kinds of shit today. Bull digging, screaming baboon. Center of the board on here about 1 million times. I don't know if he's got any money left. Big George in there, screaming baboon in there a few more times.
This
Drew
is
Wilson
awesome.
made a few in there.
Yes.
More screaming baboon, more Big George, the Andretti, the infamous Vito Andretti in there, more Drew Wilsons, more center of the boards. Fantastic. And a big shout out to Timmy Baltimore today, man. Timmy saved the show today. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for helping us out. Thanks for sitting here for almost 3 damn hours with Rip. You couldn't pay me enough money to sit here for 3 hours with Rip and do this shit. You're the man, Timmy.
Thank
And
you.
plug your show coming up, baby.
Limping
Limping
ain't easy.
Reserve. Timmy Baltimore. When's the
Wednesday.
kickoff?
Yeah, this Wednesday it launches March March 5th. Yeah, this Wednesday. Basically, I interview wrestling's best, brightest, most interesting individuals, from Ali O'Daly J to Nick Nemeth to the biggest names in wrestling. You name them, I'm going to get them. They talk about the adversity they've overcome to Reach Wrestling
Shit, we've
Immortality.
been trying to get Nick Nemeth on here for 3 years. How'd you get Nick Nemeth? Man, you must be over.
Well, he does swallow.
Sexual
He does
favors.
swallow.
This is true.
I refuse to swallow.
Don't tell my secret out there.
That's,
Thank you guys. This has been a pleasure. I really appreciate everybody in the
you gotta give us
board.
the head bob, Timmy.
We can't bob his head.
Oh, give us the
Give bob
whatever
my head.
bob.
You can't bob his
Give us
head.
the whole body. All right. Give us body
Yes,
bob. Give us
all
the wank bob. Give us something.
I showed the X-ray.
Thanks everybody for hanging out all day today, man. That was awesome.
The greatest in many, many months. Thank you.
Crowd. Big Al Robinson in the house.
Oh, when did he get here?
Right there, he said, gentlemen.
All right.